What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Stallion Speaks. How's everybody doing on this Sunday evening? I'll tell you this, guys. You know what the best part of tonight's episode is? Not the fact that I get to spend another Sunday evening talking college football, Miami Hurricanes, all that good stuff. But this is the last off-season Sunday because guess what, baby? Next Saturday's college football, and next Sunday we're going to be previewing our road trip to Palo Alto where we're going to burn them trees down, baby. That's what I'm predicting is going to be, what do we call it? Pain for Stanford. That's what I feel right there. But I'm so excited tonight. Got my guy in the back ready to bring him on. First and foremost, though, I got to give some love to everything real quick. I want to just shout this out. We are now over 201 subscribers, over 21,000 views. Keep punching that like button. Share our cause so others can join. And I had a very special thing at my alma mater on Friday. I want to give a shout out to the student section there at Knoxville West High School. They yelled out and said, "Hey, Italian Stallion, come over here." So I want to give them their dap. Here's 45 seconds for you because that was my number at West.
Yeah!
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for Rebels with a Cause. I'm here with the Rebel Rowdy. What's going on, baby? We liking the score so far? Right there, baby. Hey, listen, this is what it's all about. When you come to this school, it ain't just about the athletics. It just ain't about the academics. It's nothing but love. Give it to him one more time, baby. Let's go. Stallion out. Go Rebels, baby. Ah!
And indeed they did. The other night, West took care of Bearden. I loved every moment of it. 21-6, I'll take it. A win's a win. And I waited 2 damn years for that victory. But shout out to them and the girls soccer players, baseball, all of them supporting the other sports there. Recognized your Stallion, taking pictures, made this OG feel really special. So thank you all for that moment. But that being said, though, we got business tonight. And remember, the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization. This is solely the Italian Stallion's views, as well as his guest co-hosts and the audience members. And also, we will be giving the link to Come On, where you will get 5 minutes to speak your piece, and keep it at 5 minutes so we can get everybody on there. Also, we'll have the chat box comments. We'll try to get to those as we get to them. But that being said, remember to smash the shit out of that like button and share us like you're beating the hell out of a Florida State Seminole fan. Love you, BT. But that being said, very quickly, got to bring him on because you know who he is. He is also not only my brother for close to 8 years now, a big-time Miami Hurricane fan. You can catch him on U-Talk, and they had a fire episode on Friday, and they're going to be rocking it all out these next few weeks, and hopefully we'll be giving you shows, both channels, up until we claim 6 and 26. But with that being said, let's bring him on with a beautiful and always welcoming Stallion applause. Larry Frank Jr. is in the house, baby!
What's up, my brother?
How are you, sir, this Sunday evening?
I'm great because Friday nights is usually U-Talk night, and Sunday nights is usually Stallion Speaks night. Friday nights, I'm usually winding down my work week, and U-Talk, that's just what I do to just help me wind down the work week. And before I start getting aggravated with a new work week, Stallion Speaks is the last piece that I have before I have to enter the new work week.
Same.
So it sets me off. It sets me off, to be able to, come on here and talk football and everything else that we do.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, Larry Frank, my guy. It was nice to be there at the high school football game. I caught another game last night as well. It was just nice to have that, and I was catching some preseason football. And I know you're not a Dolphins fan, but there are some people that are both Hurricanes and Dolphins fans that watch this, and I'm just going to share this, man. Mm-hmm. The Dolphins suck. I mean, they are so bad. And Jameis Winston and the Giants just made them look like just straight bitches. And it's going to be a very long season if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm sorry. Yeah. But thank God for the Miami Hurricanes, because there were years there where they were both equally worthless. So, but that being said,
Yeah.
I feel bad if you're a Dolphins fan. I mean, they might be giving that away at the Burger King that don't exist anymore that our boy Mel B talks about all the time. And I used to eat at that Burger King back in the day when I was younger, so I know all about those tickets being free. But where would they put it now? Pollo Tropical or what? Where would they put those that restaurant down
They
there?
gotta come up with something, man. It's not looking good for the Dolphins, and equally bad for the Saints, man. They got destroyed yesterday, like 34-0, so and they
And
got
this is
their
your
key players dropping like
season.
flies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what
yeah.
I'm saying, man. And then I heard Ashton Genty got hurt today, so I'm sorry if you already picked him in your fantasy football league. So
Ooh.
that I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I saw the news that Ashton Genty got hurt, which sucks for that kid because I
Wow.
liked watching him play at Boise State. I
Me
really did
too.
that
Me
year.
too.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a fun year with Cam and all them competing for the Heisman. But that being said, the Miami storylines, we're going to get into that. Of course, the topic for tonight. Obviously, we're going to get into should Miami stay in the ACC or leave for the Big Ten SEC if offered. We'll get to that in a second. But let's just finish up fall camp. Fall camp ended on Friday with another scrimmage. Of course, we kind of broke the news last Sunday without it being official, but Mario confirmed it on the Joe Rose show the following morning. Cam Vaughn was no longer on the team. I had heard some rumblings from my inside guys that was going to happen. So that's why I just left it as a question mark, because I'm not going to betray the confidence in things that I know from the inside, from the people that are kind enough to share this just like you are. But at the same time, the Jordan Lyle situation, they're just going to let the legal process play out. I like what you said last week and again on U Talk. We think it's going to be a 4-game suspension. I just hope that he stays on this team because we need all the dudes we can get. And if we have a fresh, healthy Jordan Lyle that we could need against a Texas Tech or somebody in the playoffs, and a different change of pace, you want to have those dudes available. And I want this guy to succeed. I'm sick and tired of us having dudes make a flash and then be nothing but green tree All-Americans. And then the best quote, the healthiest we've been coming out of a camp so far in the Mario tenure, which tells me, Larry Frank, and tell me if I'm wrong. Chat box, obviously you can chime in, and of course we'll give you your piece to speak your piece when that 5 minutes when we show that link. But that being said, is the fact that to be this healthy, that means that the nutrition is working, the workouts with the strength coach, they have done what they've needed to take care of their bodies. And we know that those practices are physical. So that good that they're holding up. And I'm going to be very curious as not only the Stanford game, but some of our other opponents, how do they hold up in the heat of Miami, or if we're on the road, like who is going to be dropping like flies when they're making those stoppages for injuries? Because it's a rough game. Let's just be real. And that right there will tell you that I know Mario don't like this. Miami is back when we're the more physical team, when we're dictating what's going on. And they are just like that boxer that said, no mas, no mas. You know what I mean? And they tap faster than Chris Benoit and the crippler crossface. So, but what's your thoughts, Larry Frank, as we talk about how now they're transitioning to the practices, getting ready for Stanford, and then later this week they're flying out to Palo Alto to get used to that West Coast time, which is very convenient because they didn't have that luxury when they played Cal a couple years ago. Your thoughts, my brother?
Yeah, I particularly like that they're getting out there early. That just signals a lot of differences with their approach to some of these games. They're not going out the week of, they're not going out a couple of days prior. And I just think with the physicality you're seeing in the practices, I think with just the off the field stuff that's been handled, the dismissals that we've seen, the accountability that not just Mario is holding, but the team is holding. When you have the team voting to dismiss a player, as we saw with Hayden Lowe a couple of weeks ago, I just think everybody is locked in. And I just don't think we realize how locked in this team is yet, but it's going to unfold. And boy, I can't wait to see it unfold on the field. I really believe we're getting early signals. If you think about it, Malachi, being the first guy at the place at the training facility, 4:30 in the morning, before just with the jug machine, and he's the leader. He's one of the leaders on the team, so that follows suit. So I just think that we're going to see a lot of big deficits in a lot of these games. I really think the Notre Dame game may be the only one that is remotely close for 4 quarters. I just don't think you're going to see Miami playing down the competition as you previously saw in years past. And I
Yep.
think you're going to see foot on the throttle and just straight beat down. I think you're finally going to get where the two teams measure up, and the talent on Miami's team is obviously going to be better than the talent for everybody else that we face. The coaching staff of Miami is definitely going to be better than the coaching staff of every team we face. You're going to see the differences of that in every game. It's going to show it. So get ready. It's going to be a fun season.
You know, you touched on something that really stood out to me, that schedule that they released of what Malachi Tony does. And, you know, we believe it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding with what you saw last year. And you want to know something? We're so quick to compare teams and everything like that. And listen, I don't want to say that this team is the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. But if you think about this, think about the mentality of the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. They had all this talent. They got screwed by BCS computers when they knew they were the best team. Maybe they didn't show it in Seattle early in that year, but that's why you handle your business. And they came out with a vengeance, you know, even had to battle 9/11 and games being delayed and the schedule being worked out. But the mentality of those kids, they weren't going to be denied that national championship, you know. And I'm just saying that these guys, they lost on their home field, guys, you know. I mean, yes, they had a chance to do it, as asses we played at times. And I saw some people blaming certain players. We win as a team, we lose as a team. But this is what I'm going to get at, guys, is that I expect us, like what Larry said, to come out full throttle. I don't think it's going to be donkey dinky, you know. I mean, no, we got dudes we need to play, and we need to get the guys ready for the games. I mean, you think about this. I'm not trying to disrespect any opponent on our schedule, but we have 4 games to get it right for a business trip to Clemson, and we owe them an ass whipping of ass whippings, guys. We do. We really do. And we have receipts, as Dion likes to say. We actually got receipts that we need to give to each and every one of these teams at some point or another. Maybe the faces have changed, but the asshole attitude towards and their same fans throwing the U down, they're going to be leaving crying at halftime. That's what I want more than anything, for this team to just have that killer instinct and rip the jugular out and show no mercy. But, you know, that being said, man, we're going to talk about the team more next week, obviously, and what we're hearing out of the fall practices, and we should be getting a starting lineup. Obviously, they have to do that mandatory injury report, but let's get to the subject that everybody wants to talk about, and I know that it's hot, and again, we're going to talk about it in the chat box. Obviously, below, we'll talk about the preseason AP Top 25 that was released. Of course, Notre Dame was getting sucked off harder than that cop we talked about last week. But, you know, that being said, the question is, should Miami stay in the ACC or leave for the Big Ten and SEC if offered? And my question is this. I have heard different people come in and say that the Big Ten would be a better fit because of the traditional rivalries that we've had with the Notre Dames and the Penn States and the Michigan. Not that Notre Dame is in there, but that Midwest thing, Ohio State, now Indiana. There's some teams that I guess we have a traditional history with. If you even want to even mention Rutgers in that, you know, UCLA, USC, you know, all that. There's storylines there with the Big Ten. But for the fans like you and me that are geographically located in the Southeast, it might be better to go to the SEC so we could catch a game or two. And again, it's all about the money and the TV deal. You know what the Big Ten has spread across 3 networks and a streaming service in NBC, Fox, CBS, and Peacock, respectively. But, you know, you have the ESPN money machine behind the SEC. And of course, that means ABC and all their networks. So the point is we would be must-see TV. But Larry, I'm going to give you the floor, and obviously chat box, you can start bringing the heat. We'll start posting the comments, and then we'll get the link up there to give everybody their 5 minutes to speak your piece. So Larry Frank, speak your piece, brother, on the question and topic of the night.
So the question is, should Miami stay in the ACC or leave if offered? Miami should absolutely leave the ACC. And here's the thing. I think right now Miami is plotting its exit strategy silently. I don't think people realize that when you want to leave a conference, you know, everybody's like, well, we just need to leave. We just need to leave. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy to just say, oh, I'm sick of the ACC. I want to go to another conference. Let's just do this. The conference has to want you. The conference has to extend an invite to you. The numbers that the conference are going to have as far as revenue sharing and what you get, the media deal, that has to work in your favor. And that's not something that's just going to happen spontaneously out of the sky. So I think what you have here is Miami is working itself into being marketable and desirable by our conference. Now, here's the thing. To leave the ACC, if Miami would have done it in 26 in this season. Now, they can't do it because the deadline to announce your departure has to be June 1st of the year. You remain in the conference and play your games for 1 year, and then you finish up June 30th of the following year. So July 1st of the following year, you can go into the new conference that you go to. But here's the thing. If Miami had wanted to leave the ACC this season, the exit fee to leave the ACC would have been $147 million. Now, the thing about that is, why would you pay that kind of money to leave the ACC and you don't have a conference destination to go to? Even if there's buzz that the Big Ten wants you, even if there's buzz that the SEC wants you, you've got to have the numbers work in your favor to where your exit fee that you pay to leave the ACC is offset by what's coming to you by going to another conference. So that's why I say Miami's not leaving the ACC for at least 4 to 5 years. The exit fee goes down $18 million every year that you stay. So if Miami wanted to leave the ACC next year in 2027, Miami would have to pay $27 million. Still a big price tag. So every year it goes down. It looks like 2030, 2031 would be the year that Miami would probably leave. But the exit fee at that point would be around $75 million. Now, that's much more feasible for Miami. Here's the kicker. When you negotiate, first of all, you got to negotiate silently with the conference. And when you agree upon the numbers that you're going to agree upon, then you can make the announcement. Miami could negotiate right now with the Big Ten and say, look, we're leaving in 2031. And they'll stay and play, and every year that exit fee goes down. But here's the thing. You also want to negotiate exit fee assistance from the conference that wants you. The number you're looking at there would probably be somewhere between 30 and 50 million. So if Miami can just stretch it out and play a few more years in the ACC, that exit fee, I don't want to say buyout because it's different. The exit fee goes down to 75 million. Then if the Big Ten wants you that bad and you negotiate a $50 million exit fee assistance, guess what? All you got to do is come up with $25 million and you're out. You're done. And here's the thing. Kudos to Clemson and Florida State for what they did a couple of years ago, because the litigation they had that was eventually settled out was about the media rights. Well, guess what? The ACC, that asshole behind you, the ACC had that idiot behind you. The ACC had this thing set up to where previously before the settlement, if you left the conference, the ACC still held the media rights to televise your games through 2036. So kudos to Florida State and Clemson for going and get litigation. The reason being was the SEC had expressed interest in them, and guess what? They were going to be held by that standard, so they went ahead and lawyered up, did what they had to do. So now if they were to leave, the media rights, you take them with you when you announce and do everything by the proper protocol that you're going to announce when you leave. You uphold that last year, you pay your exit fee, you and your media rights can go to the conference that wants you. Now, this is where I'm loving it as a Miami Hurricanes fan. When this settlement got done, Miami was obviously in a mediocre state. Well, Miami is benefiting the most by this right now because guess what? Miami is going to become marketable because as you play your games, as you get your viewership, as everything is done, guess what? That is what makes another conference want you. So guess what? Miami, Notre Dame, you know what the numbers on that game is going to be. So at the end of the day, Miami, when they do decide to leave, them and their media rights will go to whatever conference that takes them. Now, here's the best part about why I think Miami is setting things up quietly to make it happen. Miami's winning. Miami is recruiting at a very high level. viewership for these Miami games, for these big games, are going to be on a high level. You saw the viewership numbers for Miami in the college football playoff. Miami 5-0 against the SEC in the last 5 matchups, knocked off Ohio State, went to the national championship game. Here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Everybody in Miami is mad at ESPN because they're thinking ESPN set this thing up with this first couple of weeks of the season for Miami. But guess what? ESPN deals with the conferences they're choosing. So the deal that they have with the ACC, they deal with the ACC. The ACC gets their money from ESPN, and then the ACC distributes the revenue to the member schools. The ACC is the one that sets the schedule of the conference opponents. Notice Notre Dame and Miami was already set. Why? Because that game is in South Bend, and Notre Dame has their own deal. So that's why that game was already set in its prime time. Don't be mad at ESPN because we got to go to Palo Alto and we got to have Central Michigan and FAMU and all of that. Be mad at the ACC because this is how they designed it. They set it up like this. So here's the thing. When you get into the new conference, wherever you decide to go, you got to have that appeal. Now, here's what I like about Miami. Big market. South Florida is a big TV market. National fan. Number 14. Number 14. Yep. So that's a nice size market. National brand, national fan following. So at the end of the day, Miami is going to be appealing with those numbers and with those metrics. All Miami needs to do is continue winning, continue doing what they're doing, become the powerhouse that you are becoming, and you will almost be undeniably wanted by either the SEC or the Big Ten. So my prediction, Stallion, is when all this is over, 2030, 2031, Miami will be going to a different conference. I'm like you. I'd much rather see them in the SEC because regionally it makes more sense. And also, here's something else we got to remember. Football is the face of this thing. But it doesn't hurt that the basketball program is competitive and good and the baseball program is competitive and good, because you're a conference that's doing well in these other sports is also going to want you for those sports as well. To me, that kind of shifts more to the SEC right now if I had to pick one of the two, you know. So long story short, I think Miami will be out. And just think about it. If they repeat, if they can get a deal negotiated for about 30 to 50 million or whatever, and the exit fee is 75 in 5 years, if they repeat a run like they did this past season to the national championship, remember, Miami got paid $20 million up to the national championship. If they would have won, they would have got another 10. So if you win the national championship, you get $30 million.
Yep.
So guess what? You essentially, if you can negotiate, if your exit fee is 75, your conference is going to give you 50. You're on the hook for 25. And let's just say you win the national championship. You can pay the rest and you still got $5 million in profit.
And I'll be honest with you, and this is not just any disrespect. I think ESPN will tell CBS, NBC, and Fox to all kick rocks, and they'll pay for Miami just to be a part of the SEC.
Absolutely.
I bet they would. I bet they would. Because if you think about it, the reason why Miami was never invited to the SEC, that was Spurrier and the Gators in the early 90s when they joined. They said, you can get us, but we don't want to deal with them. And in actuality, Florida State kind of had to go to the ACC because of that same deal too, and so forth. Because remember, Florida State was independent until they joined the ACC in 1992, if I'm not mistaken, 1991. So, and then we, of course, joined the Big East and everything like that. So there's that too. Like, it's like teams are not going to dictate this anymore. It's the networks, because it's the TV money deals that are driving this thing. And right now, it is the Big Ten and the SEC. The Big Ten, unfortunately, was just across 3 different networks to just put their, because they have other stuff they have to do. ESPN is sports, you know. Obviously, the other 3 want to grow their brand in the streaming services and all that. But CBS had to compensate for football, NBC or pro football. NBC had to, but ESPN had enough money to even now secure that the Super Bowl is going to be on there on ABC and ESPN this year. First time in a long time for ABC, and then ESPN. Obviously, that's going to be the first Super Bowl ever on the ESPN. But that being said, though, I agree with you, Larry. I think it's just a matter of Big Ten or SEC. So I am going to put the link up there. I see the chat box has some things, and there is Chris Kane. What is up, buddy? I know he's working tonight. He'll try to jump on there for 5 minutes and so forth to speak his piece, but I'm going to put the link up there right now. So I want anybody that, has an opinion about this, whether you're a Miami fan or not, I just want you to, chime in there. Is Miami good with the ACC, or, do they need to join one of these big conferences? The other thing too that I want to talk about is something, and there's the StreamYard link right there. And, you can just wait backstage while we finish this and so forth. It's in the chat. Click on that and we'll bring you on for your 5 minutes to speak your piece. But, as Larry commented, here's this jackass, Jim Phillips. And then if you can see all they call themselves the big wigs, but they really are the seven dwarves down there running this piece of shit conference. And look at what their backgrounds are, guys. These guys don't know anything about football. I mean, yeah, and they're partial to some of the universities that they held some positions at, but they weren't the guys making the deals there. You have a guy that played basketball kind of dictating the situation of, what bowl games we go to. I mean, listen, he's a basketball player. No disrespect. March Madness is a phenomenal thing. We enjoy it, but look what they had. They have Duke and North Carolina in their back pocket in basketball, who have always been powerhouses, no matter who's the coach and the players that have gone through there. But you got this other guy here, communications guy from Coastal Carolina and Bowling Green. And then you've got this other jackass that looks like the Ronald Reagan wannabe who's dictating your terrible bowl matchups. I mean, let me just tell you this. It is all about the college football playoff. But what if we didn't have the college football playoff, Larry, and it was under the old way? Your bowl games have no tie-ins hardly to the New Year's Day. You're playing on a day when all of us have to work, and we're not going to freeze our asses up in Yankee Stadium or in the Charlotte or, down in the Birmingham Bowl that we've had to do several times, unfortunately, because we were so bad at that time. But what I'm getting at is thank God for the college football playoff. And, if they want to expand it, great. But realistically, I always see us as a high seed. We are going to be a wild card if we can finally take that next step and handle the business like we think they will. But that being said, the link is there, guys. If you want to come on, should Miami stay or should Miami go? And for the people that, say maybe they should stay, I will say this. Do you want to be a big fish in a small pond, or do you want to be the daddy of all the other big fishes in the big pond, in the ocean? Okay, let's just put it like that. Seriously. And we've already proven that with the roster that we had last year, and let's be real, guys, everybody, and I've heard other shows talk about this, and I've even heard the national media, how do they replace Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor? Listen, they were phenomenal guys, and they played outstanding, and we got where we got to because they played out of their minds, and everybody finally met their potential. But let's be real, guys. A year ago, Akeem Messidor and Ruben Bain hadn't gone through a full season. Okay, right. Messidor had foot problems. Bain had battled that poor issue that screwed him so bad that sophomore year. We lost Ryan Rodriguez to the broken leg in the Florida Gator game right at the beginning of that year when Cam Ward showed out. My point is, guys, don't worry about who's not here. Let's focus on what we've got, because we've got Malachi Toney. We've got Mark Fletcher. You know what Darian Mensah can do. He has shown it at Tulane and Duke. And if you can do that there, and you have a better potential skill players and an offensive line that has so much potential on paper with these massive Goliaths blocking for you, I mean, he might be able to sit back and just, cherry pick what he wants to do. Do I want to run it? The RPO can be run properly. Dimples has no excuses this year. Honestly. And now you've got a caveman Viking wild guy in Heatherman running the defense, and not that clown show that we had a couple years ago with that doofus. But I'm just saying that, and we wasted a generational thing in Cam Ward. This is the year, guys, and you know what? Preseason number 7, who cares? I mean, let them give everybody else whatever they want. But at the end of the day, and this is the absolute truth, guys, is that we're in prime position because, as Larry mentioned on Utah, Ohio State and Texas play, that could knock somebody down. I mean, by the time Miami and Notre Dame play in November, there's going to be a lot of football. And that day of November 7th is like a judgment day. It's basically going to separate everybody at that point of where you're at. But go ahead,
real quick, Stallion. Yeah. I think Miami Notre Dame, that's going to be a 1 versus 2 matchup when they play.
I believe
it probably will, because everybody else that's around them, because right now Notre Dame is preseason number 4, I believe. Let like, Texas, Ohio State, well, somebody's going to get knocked off there. And Ohio State, they got to see Indiana, which I'm predicting Indiana's going to knock them off.
Mm-hmm.
And Indiana's in the mix, but, they might be, rated high, but depending on how things go with Notre Dame, Miami, somebody might jump somebody, who knows? But long story short, if Ohio State finds a way to knock off Texas, they're out the top 5.
Yes.
If Ohio State knocks off Indiana, they're out the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say Texas knocks off Ohio State, they're out the top 5. And then Indiana knocks them out, or let's go back to Ohio State, rather, knocking out Indiana, they're out the top 5. And then Texas is going to get knocked off somewhere in SEC play. They're going to be out the top 5. So what I'm saying is, by the time November 7th gets here, Miami Notre Dame will be 1 versus 2. This game with Miami Notre Dame on November 7th, I think, is going to be the game of the year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And you know that it's going to kill game day, that they're going to have to be there for it, despite them not having the matchup. NBC has it because, like you said, they have exclusive rights to all of Notre Dame's home games. You know what I mean? So that's the only good thing, is at least we can do it at night, and
Yes.
It's not going to be some 3:30 shit, honestly, that is a primetime game meant to be under the lights. And, they can be stewing about it, but at the same time, maybe Miami has something to prove too, because look what Miami was listening to at the end there, guys. Let's not forget, they were completely dismissing, if you guys had played now, you got them early in the season, they were breaking in a redshirt freshman quarterback, they gave no credit to Miami whatsoever. But here's the truth of it. You play the games when you play the games, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. But I'm just saying that realistically, it's just one of those deals at the end of the day that they lost. And maybe we should have won by more, like Chris Kane said. He's absolutely right with that. I mean, we kind of lulled it there in that fourth quarter. But I think that we have the depth that maybe was missing at certain position groups. It's not fully back, but I think that we have taken a step each year of where we need to be for it to look dominating. And I just really think if that line, look, Stanford plays against Hawaii Saturday night, and I'm going to watch that game just because I want to see what Stanford's got, okay? And not that I'm worried about it. I just want to just see what they look like. Yeah. Because depending on if they look like ass against Hawaii, that line is going to go way up. Because right now, Miami's only favorite is a 23.5-point favorite. And I think that's easy money, guys. I think we win by 30. And I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just saying that, they're giving a lot of points to Palo Alto, the cross-country trip. But Miami's going to be acclimated to that time change for a week. And I know that that's just a week, but it's a lot better than 1 day or 2, like it was with that Cal situation. And we have guys that want to prove themselves. And, a lot of things, a lot of people forget, going back to the 2001, and I'm not trying to compare these teams. What I'm saying is that everybody was asking, what do you do with losing Dan Morgan? What do you lose with Damone Lewis? Well, guess what? We had Jerome McDougal and Jonathan Vilma announce themselves against Penn State. Honestly, that 2001. We lost Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne. Did you forget about Andre Johnson, by the way? I mean, he has a touchdown right off the bat. So what I'm saying is, don't think that these guys have that mentality that, listen, we love Ruben and Messidor. They're making their money in the NFL. My name's Damon Wilson. Nice to meet you. I'm going to be, fucking your world up these next 16 games, and there's not anything you can do about it. Same with all the other badasses on that defense, and then the offenses are going to roll as well. I mean, I'm just saying that I am so belief in this team right now that I will be very shocked, ladies and gentlemen, Canes fans everywhere, that if we are looking out of whack. And sure, we don't want to come out like gangbusters, because how many times have we seen fool's gold in September and then gone for October? I'm just saying that it's different now, guys. It is. And I don't think that we need to temper the expectations. I heard a figure. We've spent $40 million on coaches and this roster. We've got to win it now. And to answer the question on what you all posed on UTalk the other night, and definitely check that out. And please subscribe and become a VIP member if you haven't done so already, guys. They've got some great stuff coming on there. So please definitely hit them up and give some love to AO. It was great seeing AO and Mel B, and obviously the great Devin Lloyd, and you do your thing Friday nights. And I'm so looking forward to it. And it's back, baby. But what I'm getting at is that more than anything, what you guys mentioned the other night is the absolute truth. Would it be considered a failure if Mario doesn't win one in his tenure? I mean, I'd almost look at it like this. What about Butch Davis? You know, had he gotten the extension and that 2001 team flundered, you know, then we might have a question there. Like, how did you screw that up? Because you and me could have coached that team. Coker gets the credit, but and he almost got a second one too. Let's be real. But what I'm getting at more than anything is that it's just crazy to me to think that we have this opportunity and we don't get it done this year or next year with the badass recruits that we got coming in. And they were performing the other night. I mean, check out these high school football scores. I saw our boy, what was it? Nick Lanier, big game
with
Nick.
With the touchdown.
Come on, man. I mean, these guys are dogs. And then Columbus taking on Bishop Gorman, who upset John Bosco last week. Guys, Saturday on ESPN2 or ESPN, whichever game it's on, definitely hit up and check out that game between Christopher Columbus, where we will get to see our boy that just committed to us at Reclassified taking on the best team in the country, because they're trying to win a high school national championship. So you're going to see the future dogs that are going to be having the U on their helmets doing their thing. But that being said, I got Chris Kane in the back. He's got 5 minutes to speak his piece, unless he's going to be able to come on, but he's working. And you know, he is officially a co-host here at Rebels with a Cause. So bring him on and give him the love, baby. Chris Kane, welcome to Stallion Speaks, brother. Speak your piece, bro.
What's up? What's up? Hold on for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Yep, no problem, man. You take your time. There is LNV.
LNV.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
What up, sis? Been a minute.
And there's Obi-Wan Kane, Facts Next Man Up. And there's my guy, Brandon Brock. What's up, guys? The season is close. Looking forward to a great show and a great season this year. And listen, if you want to come on, there's the link. I've got people in the back waiting. Obviously, they'll get their 5 minutes to speak their piece. So absolutely, you know, and yeah, Anthony, I see you backstage. We'll get you on here, and everybody else that's backstage waiting in the order that they came in. But that's the link, though, if you want to come on and so forth. And like I said, I will bring you on in the order that you were backstage and so forth. And obviously, Chris Kane said he needed a couple of minutes, and we'll bring him on, and he's free to talk the minute he unmutes himself. But until we get to that point, Larry, you know, I just think that this team is ready to prove themselves, and we're must-see TV, you know, and that's why you had this sniveling rat bastard back here trying to take credit for something that he never deserved. That son of a bitch never deserved that. So yeah, you know.
Stallion, listen, let me tell you something. This is the thing, like I said, a lot of people don't understand. Miami can't negotiate directly with ESPN. No school negotiates directly with the network. They are subjected to the conference breaking it down, you know. So, you know, when you look at real quick, the reason why Miami is starting off 3 games, 2 on the road and 2 on a Friday night and 1 on a Thursday, that is the doing of the ACC. That is not ESPN.
What is good, everybody? I see Antonio Abner, Chris Kane. What is up, man? Let's get you that applause, baby.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you're limited on time, but I'm going to give you 5 minutes, brother. What is up, brother? Speak your piece.
What's going on, man? What's going on, yo, man? I had to go to that bathroom real quick. I had to go ahead. Had to drain the main vein real quick before I get on here. I can't talk.
I'm glad you had muted it for that, because I did not want to have that visual.
Yes, Lord. No, because I didn't want to be in there either.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be there.
Can't get the channel shut down, bro.
No, can't do that. No, can't do that. But just to look at as far as like, should we stay or should we go? I mean, you think about it. You take the Canes out, the ACC, Florida State. You know, even though they're down right now, you take the heavy hitters, the Clemsons, even North Carolina. Let's just say them 4 right there. You take them out. What does the ACC have? You see what I'm saying? I feel like the ACC is the Big East 2.0 right now. What do they got? You think about it, because why not go to a bigger market? It makes sense for us to go to the SEC. It makes sense geographically. It makes sense for us to go to the SEC, and financially. I mean, to be honest, when we was in the Big East, we was going up there playing Big Ten players anyway. For those who don't know, so Does it really make a difference? Geographically, it makes sense for us to go to the SEC so we can further that market, corner that market, because it's always about, oh well, Miami's plays in the ACC, they're lacking. Well, we just showed it. We just showed you last year who the front dogs were, because we took care of the SEC. Correct?
Yep.
And out of the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? And also from a standpoint, if that's something that we want to have at the market, for our school, that'll make us better. But what's the point of us dominating a dead program or a dead conference? It makes no sense. You see what I'm saying? Because look at the scheduling. If you look at the scheduling, oh, they don't face nobody, always this, that, and the third, because of the lack of talent and the lack of teams with the talent that we have. Because we're one of the top dogs. You see what I'm saying? Florida State, when they was on top, same way. We're on top, Dabo on top. We the three, to be honest with you, we're the three-headed monsters in the ACC. Yep. Believe it or not, we're the money makers. Believe it or not, North Carolina, they're gonna be a top school because of a basketball perception.
Right.
Duke is gonna be a top school because of a basketball perception. They're always going to do it, like you said, Stallion. They're always going to have it because of the perception of basketball. They're always going to be top notch, no matter who their coach is. Because when it comes to basketball, Duke and North Carolina has that on lock. That ain't going nowhere. That's just bottom line. When it comes to football, it's a totally different. It's a different seesaw battle when you come to that now. Because now we're talking about football, we're talking about baseball, we're talking about different things of that nature. But when it comes to basketball and football, which are the top ones right now, we ain't talking about no damn swimming, we ain't talking about no damn lacrosse and all that other shit. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about the main sports: basketball, football, top runners.
That's a good point. I want to highlight what you're saying and give you credit, because when the initially when the SEC was coming after or hinted that they wanted Florida State, Clemson, the other two that was included was Virginia and North Carolina. But it's a good point you just put out, Chris, because Florida State and Clemson was wanted for the football aspect, while Virginia and Carolina was wanted for the basketball aspect. A lot of people were like, why not Miami? And baseball with Virginia
too, for those two.
So a lot of people were like, well, why wouldn't Miami be wanted because of the brand? Well, it wasn't about the brand. It's about what can you do for me lately? And if you're doing things in the sports, that makes the marketability. That's why Miami is going to be a hot commodity, because Miami's getting it back in football. They got it, looks like, in basketball. They're solid, and they've always been solid in baseball. You got a triple threat program of university that's marketable that you can't lose if you get them.
Correct.
Right. And you ain't going to do nothing but go up. What you going to go up? Another 5 or 10 million, another 15, 20 million, another 30 million, another 50 million. It's all going to be good for the conference. But you think about what Miami has done for the past 4 seasons, being in that program, coming from where they came from to where they are now. It's a whole different aspect. You see what I'm saying? It's just like what was said on the show the other night. It's like it's a whole different show. I mean, it's a whole different program now, because we got somebody that actually knows the fundamentals, and they're going to have everybody fundamentally sound when they get out there and play. Look at the coaches that we're investing in now. See, it wasn't just that Miami wasn't invested in football. Got a secret to tell y'all. Don't tell nobody else. They were not only invested in football, they were not investing in basketball neither, or baseball. Not as much as they needed to. But you think about it. We're looking at the athletic director and we're just thinking football. No, athletic director has more than one hat, because if it was just football, it would be the football director.
That's right.
If it was just basketball, it would be the basketball director or the baseball director. No, you're the athletic director. That means everything that has anything to do with the athletic or collegiate sport at your campus, you are in charge of.
And Chris, can I stop you with something real quick? And look at the 3 jackass athletic directors we had after Paul D. For as much criticism as Paul D got or whatever like that, he looked like the best athletic director compared to Nichols, or Eccles, Hoka, and Blake James. That sorry son of a bitch
Yeah.
who's now at
Yeah.
Boston College. I mean, those are facts, guys. And you had Donna Shalala and all her bullshit, really pouring into the medical. And look, that's important. The UM Med is a big brand. I get that. But guys, listen, at the end of the day, when's the last time 80,000 people showed up to see a kid do a damn chemistry experiment? Okay? I mean, they show up to watch football. They show up to the domes to watch the Final Four. Look at what Miami did. We lost to Connecticut. Nobody was beating that Connecticut team that year. But I'm just saying that Miami was there in that Final Four. And that game might as well been the national championship because San Diego State got their asses run out that gym on Monday against that Connecticut team.
The good part about that is in the last 4 or 5 whatever years, Miami has made a Final Four and a college football national championship. Now, if they can a super regional in baseball. So now, if Miami can just keep building in every sport, maintain where you at in football, making those playoff runs, maintain at least an Elite 8 run in the tournament, in the basketball tournament, and get deep into the CWS. Do that over the next 4 or 5 years. It's no way that you don't have a freaking invite to go to either the Big Ten or the SEC. They're going to be getting on their knees and unzipping your pants to get you in there.
Damn right. Damn right. So, yeah. Chris, I don't know if you got to go or if you can stay a little bit longer and so forth. I do got to get some other people here in the chat, brother. But what else you got if you can't stay longer, brother? Because I know you're at work. I don't want to get you in trouble. So, yeah.
Oh, no, we're good. I'm just taking a little break right now. I got them dang on 40 highs, man. I had to take a break from my back. Had to stack them 40 bags on that day, and that's only one pallet. And I don't know how many pallets we got to do tonight, but
show that helmet. Show that helmet. I want to see the helmet. Look at that right there. I just noticed that. Look at that, man. That's how you represent, baby. Look at that. That's how you represent.
I know he got Seminoles around him. He up there in Seminole country, man. Gator country.
So,
man, I'm up there. Got my 83, my 87, my 89.
Look at that. That's
91,
awesome.
my 01 right there.
There it is.
And very soon we're going to have 26.
Well, you'll be adding 26 to that next.
Damn right we are.
Well, I was waiting on 25. Boy, I was waiting. I got the numbers and everything, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother drinking day. But anyway, what all I have as far as the last thing that I actually want to say before I go back is just, let's just think about this for a minute. Let's just think about what we have and let's just think about what we're building. Think of the type of brand that we're actually building. Everybody knows our name, whether we win or lose. Okay? They're going to try to beat us no matter what, whether we're winning or losing. But the scary part about it is they're either going to say, oh, Miami's so trash or Miami's so overrated. But see, the whole part about it being us being so overrated is that now we're spending money and we've never been broke. It's just the fact that we never poured into the program. Now that we're pouring into the program, now we're playing catch up with the Tennessees, the Alabamas, the Georgias with the facilities. See, the thing is that we have to go through a different protocol. When do we need a stadium? And here's another question for those that say that we don't have our own stadium. Pitt ain't got their own stadium. Are y'all jacking them? You don't hear nothing about them. These other rural schools that live in these cities that have to share a stadium with other teams, you're not getting on their case, but it's just Miami. It's just Miami because we're a private school. You're a state funded. It's a difference. Plus, y'all have the land in order to do that. We have to go through city council when it comes to the city of Miami. In order for you to build something, you have to tear down something to replace it. Prime example: you tore down our Orange Bowl and you put up the Miami Stadium for the Miami Marlins.
That nobody goes to. So
right.
Well, here's the other thing too, and it was something on You Talk that you guys talked about, Larry. Let's talk about the fact that how not all places in Miami are safe for our players to go to. That Coral Gables hub is nice, in that area, but it's only one section of Miami. You got other fans that are there to try to entice you and get you in trouble, and you got to be careful where you go because they would love nothing more than look at this Jordan Lyle situation. It picked up legs in the damn New York Times.
Yeah.
And they didn't even really get the damn story right. They were just taking what Manny Navarro and The Athletic wrote or whatever. That's a 2-week-old story, a almost 8-week incident away from when it happened, and realistically, they're making it like it was front page news that it happened 3 days ago.
Well, that's because historically, anytime a Miami player gets in any kind of legal trouble, it's got to be blown up and exacerbated more than what it needs to be. And the bottom line was he made a mistake. He's a young man. I'm not saying what he did was right, but who hasn't made stupid ass mistakes, in their early 20s? We've all done it. He's done it, and he's paying the price for it.
Trust me. I mean, do you think he enjoyed knowing that Javion Mallory was getting all his reps in that scrimmage and showing out? I mean, that boy going to play this year, guys. That's supposed to be our 5th string true freshman. He's showing out. You're going to see that name, Javion Mallory.
That's right.
I mean, and even Marty Brown is back from his injury. He's got a whole new body cut. Looks great. Pringle's going to do his thing. You know what you got with Fletcher. I mean, now we got to see what we got from Jordan Lyle, man. And that's how it needs to be, where the room is. And like you said, Larry, at the beginning of the show, if the players are saying you ain't a part of this and you're more of a detriment than what you can to help us, there's the damn door. Get the hell out. I mean, that's huge right there.
Yep.
Get the hell out of here. So simple as that.
I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. I got 2 things. Number one, I found out in space that whenever he turned himself in, technically, whenever they was chasing him, allegedly, they stopped chasing him, right? So therefore, there was really no ID as far as his face. Only thing they did was run the plates. So my question is, was it really him that did it, or was it somebody else? Because anybody can do that. It's just the car was registered in his name.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So question is, did he really do that, or was he covering for someone else?
Yeah,
now,
I think that's why they're doing the due process. Keep going.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Now,
going.
Number 2, for those who say that Miami don't have their own stadium, never had our own stadium, but we've got 5 natties and this, that, and the third. Okay, well, let me ask you this. For those who it concerns, the Clemsons, the Florida States, the Floridas, the Georgias, the Tennessees, the Alabamas, everybody else, when was the last time y'all had a WrestleMania at y'all stadium? When was the last time y'all had a Super Bowl at y'all stadium? When was the last time y'all had a UFC main event at y'all stadium?
Facts.
When was the last time y'all had a WBC boxing main event at your stadium? When was the last time that you had anything other than just having a collegiate sport at your stadium?
The World Cup was just there. Brazil and Scotland played there. Keep going.
Exactly.
So, yes. Yep.
When have you ever had any main event? When have you had what was that? Loud, whatever, Soul Loud or Rock Loud or whatever that is.
Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud. When have you ever had that there? You see what I'm saying? When have you ever had your city or your stadium that you claim so much about, that you love and behold, that you don't even own because it's owned by the state and it's just on your campus? Let's just get that straight. So for all of these things there, how does that look now? When was the last time that y'all ever been talked about or anything like that? And for all of the other fans that have anything to say about Miami, do me a favor. Look at your school. Look at what we have going on. Look at the differences of what we have. We're coming, and we're going to be a problem. You thought you seen something last year when we got punched in the mouth and we tasted our own blood when we lost against Louisville at SMU on their prom day or whatever it was, their graduation day or their virginity day at SMU or whatever it was when they lost their virginity or whatever the hell they did at SMU, whatever the hell they did. You think you've seen a monster now. You have no idea. You have no idea what is coming. All the Christmas trees, the Irish little Lucky Charm men that be in the Lucky Charms box with the heart, stars, horseshoes, clovers, and blue moons, the pots of golden rainbows, and the red balloons. For all of y'all, for Pocahontas, and for everybody else, y'all asses is on the clock. I'm out of here. And as always, like I say, go Canes. From the womb to the tomb, it's all about the you. I'm
Love you,
out.
brother. Thank you,
All
man.
right, go
Thank you.
Canes, bro.
Go Canes, man. And I'll tell you this. I love that. Facts as always from Chris Kane. And I'll tell you this. I want this sorry son of a bitch behind me over my shoulder, front and center when we beat those Lucky Charm sons of bitches on November 7th, right in their own stadium. I want that NBC crew crying at halftime saying, what happened here? You know, that's what I want more than anything. So, yeah.
Right.
Guys, thanks for sitting back there in the chat and so forth. We're going to bring everybody on, as I mentioned, and so forth. The link is up there. So I did see a couple of people jump in and jump out and so forth. So if your connection was bad, just try to come back on now and so forth. We'll get you on. But we got the 5 minutes and so forth. So, Jay, you were up, but since you're out, Anthony, I'm going to bring you on. Welcome to Stallion Speaks, brother. You got 5 minutes. Speak your piece. Welcome to Stallion Speaks, brother.
Hey, Larry. Hey, guys. Hey,
what's up?
From off the top, I'm going to miss Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows that whole weekend because next weekend's my birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. So, yes, sir.
I'm turning 36, but it doesn't feel like it.
For sure. Well, let me just tell you, I listen, I just turned 42 and I don't feel like it, but at the same time, there's other days I feel it. So, but Anthony, where you stand with your 5 minutes, man? Should Miami stay in the ACC or leave for one of these bigger conferences?
I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to say this. I don't think the SEC wants Miami, FSU, or Clemson like everybody thinks they do because UF and South Carolina are going to prevent that from happening because they're so grandfathered. Like I have guys who just cover I know friends who just cover the SEC, and they say it's more South Carolina and Florida than Georgia and Alabama that are preventing Miami from Miami, FSU, and Clemson coming in because they don't want another team in the state. So I think those three teams are more likely to go to the Big Ten, and Virginia, Duke, and North Carolina are going to be going to the SEC because they don't have teams in those states. So I'm being more realistic. I want to be in the SEC geographically and culturally, but realistically, that's not going to happen because UF and South Carolina are not going to allow Clemson, Miami, or FSU into the conference, no matter how much money those teams are going to make for the conference.
Real quick, if the SEC takes some teams, they can't take an odd number of teams because they have 16 teams now, so it has to be an even number.
They'd probably take Virginia Tech if they want to get into. If it's about states that they're not in, like you mentioned, Anthony, which is not a bad point in terms of Carolina and Virginia, you would take those four, obviously, to keep the rivalry of Virginia Tech and Duke and North Carolina.
Duke, North Carolina, and maybe NC State, and maybe, like you said, Virginia and Virginia Tech, and maybe a Pitt, because they don't have a team in Pennsylvania, do they?
No, and I think that realistically, it's gonna if you have major players like the 7 schools that you just mentioned or 8 schools, because here's the other thing too: would the SEC offer Louisville because of to keep that rivalry with Kentucky in basketball and football? You know, that's the other thing
Kentucky,
too.
I don't think would allow Louisville to come into the conference.
You could be right, but the other thing too is that I think that we're at a point where how Spurrier did that kind of shit in the early 90s because he just didn't want to play Miami and the Gators and everything, with the TV really doing that. I mean, they if these teams like Kentucky can still have a leg to stand on with basketball, but it's slowly but surely fading away from them. The Gators haven't done nothing in close to almost 16 years now since Tebow left. So that's where that's going to be.
But here's the thing y'all got to remember. It's not really 100% what the SEC wants. It's what ESPN wants.
That's true.
ESPN is the one that really holds all of the cards here. So if ESPN says, because they're looking at the ratings.
I want FSU. I want Clemson.
Yes, right.
I don't give a shit what Florida and South
Because think about it. Think about it.
How
much stroke? Think about it. How much stroke does South Carolina really have right now? They ain't shit. How much stroke would Kentucky have? They ain't shit. And right now, Florida, they haven't been shit for some time. So
16 years.
if ESPN says, you know what, we want to bring these teams in that's giving good ratings because it's all about money, it will happen.
Yeah. And honestly, with James Franklin now joining Virginia Tech, you're not wrong, Anthony, because if he does do stuff at Virginia Tech, why wouldn't you want that brand there? Because that would be the fourth team to join.
Yeah, no,
the
and
Clemson,
I'm
Florida
going
State,
to say
Miami.
this.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm going to say this. I think the North Carolina, that research triangle of Duke, North Carolina,
NC State,
and NC State, to me, they're more Big Ten teams than SEC teams, to be honest.
Well, if basketball. I mean, with basketball, you know, because the Big Ten has been putting a lot more into basketball as of late, and of course,
I'm talking about
teams,
regionally. They're closer to me. Those teams are more conducive to the Midwest than they are to the Southeast. They're closer to places like Ohio State and what's it called? Ohio State, Michigan, Maryland.
Not really, because Duke from me and the triangle is 5 hours. Is 5 hours from Knoxville. So if you put Tennessee in SEC school, they're looking at a 5-hour trip over there. If you go to Ohio State or Michigan, you're looking closer to a 7 or 8 hour trip.
Oh no, I'm saying they're close to Maryland because remember they.
Oh, Maryland, Maryland, and that's an old ACC school. Yeah, for sure.
And I agree with Chris, to be honest. The ACC to me is going to become another Big
East because
because how long did it take to the Big East to rebuild their brand in terms of basketball and stuff like that?
It took a minute.
Yeah.
No, it took, and they're still trying because, you know, they had to get St. John's back with Rick Pitino and put money in that program. I mean, Georgetown still sucks. I mean, you know, Villanova took a step back with Jay Wright. So you're right about that. It's taken them a minute, and they're still trying to do it. But they got Connecticut. That's what helps.
And I'm going to say this: what I hope this new guy does in our new athletic director and the new president is make us. I'm surprised Miami hasn't had a softball program. That's what shocked me.
They want to do that. I know that they were talking about that. That was something Radakovich wanted to do. And he was even talking about bringing men's soccer into the fold. If they were to do 2 more sports, because they are confined to Title IX, unfortunately. You have to have the same equal number of sports in both men's and women's. And so if they were to do that and they joined the SEC, they would almost have to do
swimming. I'm surprised Miami doesn't have a dominant swimming program. Look where we're
They used to. I mean, they used to, but like I said, I mean, the different things have happened with those smaller sports. But now with football bringing it back and so forth, you can start pouring money in those smaller sports.
And Chris forgot one more thing, one more event. We also have Formula One at.
That's right, right outside the stadium, the Formula One. Yep, you're right about that.
And to be honest, like those college, like outside of. I've been saying this outside of professional development and like the culture of being in a college town. What else does Ann Arbor, Columbus, Athens, Baton Rouge, Tuscaloosa offer? Austin is a different story.
I got it for you. Diners and strip clubs, and hopefully the girls have all their teeth. Simple as that. That's what they offer there. So, yeah, that's a fact. So you got a minute, Anthony, because I got to get Lickerdale and some others on. Real quick, I do want to ask you this. You got 1 minute left, but I do want to ask you this. What do you think about Miami's preseason top 25 at number 7? Fair or shit?
Bullshit that they have Notre Dame ranked ahead of us.
Thank you.
Well, what did Notre Dame only got that ranking because they were bitching about them not being in the playoff last year. Like, that's it. They're only kissing Notre Dame's ass because they don't want to piss off the class. This. How am I gonna? I want to be political and.
No, you don't have to. This is what this show's all about.
Say what you gotta say.
Speak your piece, man. Speak your piece.
No, because they want to kiss Notre Dame's ass, and also they don't want to piss off that fan base because. They have a history. What has Notre Dame done over the past 20 years? Have they made outside of making one national championship, what have they proved?
2. They made
They
2, and
made
they got
2.
their ass kicked in both. They got their ass kicked in both.
Alabama
Yeah.
beat the shit out of them.
With Manti Te'o. Yeah, that's it. No, you're right. No, you got a point. I mean, they've had a couple of wins here and there. They went on a run. They got very lucky to not even face the good Carson Beck because, you know, he blew his elbow out in that SEC title game. So they didn't even get a full-strength Georgia to go on that. And then Penn State's Drew Aller just was looking at pretty girls and threw an interception there at the end. But they got their way. They got their way in there, but lost Ohio State.
Didn't Alabama take them behind the woodshed and beat their ass? Basically,
it was the worst.
With Brian Kelly.
Yeah. I mean, you had Brent Musburger salivating at AJ McCarron's girlfriend for a full quarter because we were tired of talking about Manti Te'o's fake girlfriend.
I like Musburger, but he's like Vince McMahon. He's creepy. He's a creepy old man. Like what logical? You're not gonna be able to get with her.
No, exactly. It's just a filler when you have a boring national title game. So, but Anthony, listen, I got to let you go. Happy birthday, brother. Be safe. Have a great time and come back next Sunday. Okay, please.
Before I go, I have one more thing to say. Actually, I have a friend whose youngest cousin is actually about to enroll at Miami to play baseball at shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants to try to play. And he's a receiver for his high school team, and he wants to try to play, but he feels like he has a better chance of playing. He wanted to do both sports, but he knows he's not going to be able to play receiver at Miami. So he made the smart decision and went purely to baseball and stuff like that. So wish him luck, guys.
Anybody that's a Cane that adorns that uniform, we want him to do great, man, honestly. But thank you, buddy. You too. Take care. Lickerdale, thanks for being patient backstage, brother. Welcome to the show as always, man. Brothers, man, what is going on, sir?
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you great.
Loud and clear.
I like to first start off in respects to you, Stallion, and Larry Franks and the rest of the Utah family, because I know they're listening out right now. I like to apologize from my conduct the other night. I was kind of off strip. So to the CEO Devin of Utah, if you listening out or you come back on, hey, I extend my apologies to you, brother. And it's all love. I was off script last night, so I'll give me a little grace a little bit on that.
Absolutely.
Respect,
man. Respect. So, but what's your thoughts on the topic at hand? Or you got the 5 minutes, brother. What do you want to talk about?
I think we should stay because if Miami would have kept this thing rolling at the 92, and because SEC wasn't about shit then. If they'd have Miami kept this thing rolling back then, I think a lot of those teams would have been trying to jump on our bandwagon back then.
Facts.
And the thing is, the big difference between, this is just my opinion, big difference between back then and to now that they know that we're going to be getting that talent in year in and year out, it's no way they can't keep us out of the top 5 every year. Because they'll know that by talent, just like SEC, by talent, they rank those guys up there. Not because of always the conference. Of course, the conference get the big boost because ESPN pretty much got their hands on the SEC, but they know that they have a great bulk of the talent, within the nation spread out between all the teams. So I think if Miami keep recruiting and keep winning, at least in the college football playoffs every season, I don't think that moving conference would really affect at least the football program. Because they're gonna keep us there, and then Miami continue to build a brand to where they at, and eventually, all the forecasts gonna get on the. I think all the forecasts get back to ACC because a lot of those teams gonna want to play Miami because you play Miami, that's where the scouts gonna be at. Mm-hmm. That's where all the big lights gonna be at. So I think that benefit if they hang around for at least a few more years, you see how it all plays out, but. Just like Notre Dame, they get all the praise, and they only have a conference.
Right.
Can I ask you, what if you had the pick, Lickerdale? Because I'm really curious. What would you prefer? Because where are you located at, if you don't mind me asking, in regards to Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, but no, but seriously, no. Like, would you rather have the Big Ten or the AC or the SEC? Because I've heard arguments for both. Some geographic, some with the rivalries from the past and everything and the history. What would matter more to you as a Miami fan?
To pick between one of those two conferences,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll stay. I go with the SEC.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I say I stay closer to home and continue to beat these teams within our southern region. And that'll keep our base a little stronger. Keep it tight knit. And when those other teams in the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and those teams out there in Texas Tech or whatever like that, the Midwest, whenever they come down to play, we keep beating on the head like we've been doing back in the 80s and 90s.
Facts.
The main thing is keeping our controlling this region when it comes to players, because we all know in college football, but the majority of your top players are from the southern region.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Of course, LS, Louisiana got their own thing going on, Texas got their own thing going on, but on this East Coast side, majority of your best players are coming from Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, maybe Tennessee, and sort of North Carolina. So I don't think they should leave, but if they do go, it'll be I think the best choice would be the SEC because of the money.
I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean,
real quick, because a lot of people may not know I was doing research.
But we still gonna go back and take names though, so it don't matter what conference we in right now. They can low ranker, they can low baller, they can do all the hell they want to do. At the end of the day, Mario keep doing what he's doing, stacking his talent. It's gonna get to a point. It's gonna be kind of hard for him to really mess it up.
So real quick, the member schools of the SEC.
It's gonna be hard. I mean, look at Coca. It was too hard for him to mess it up.
The member schools of the SEC average
we want to invest in the program, and it just took a few years for it to drain out. And when I came, when 05 got here, we was burning on fumes then. So it took about a good. When Coca took over in 2001, it took about a good 4 years for it to kind of burn out a little bit.
Yeah.
But we stopped losing when we start losing talent. So right now, long as Congress don't mess with that money on how these players are getting funded, well, we ain't going no damn well.
This is true.
Right.
This is true. What were you going to say, Larry, though? You had something.
No, I was going to say that the average revenue, the SEC schools average about $72 million annually per member school.
Frank.
And the Big Ten, they average about 76 per member school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
I can't hear Frank if he spoke.
Oh, you can't hear Larry?
Yeah,
I hear him good. I
see him moving his mouth, but I can hear.
No, I hear him good. No, he was just saying there's a difference of how much the schools are making right now, between the difference of the conferences and so forth. So that could factor in. That's what he was saying. So
I think I know the money thing is a big difference, and Miami want to put their hands on it, but eventually Miami build that brand in football, keep this thing going in basketball. And eventually, baseball gonna come around.
Mm-hmm.
We just a series away. We just a college series championship being away from that. They gonna bring the money gonna come to us. I think the NCAA gonna bring the money to. I think the ACC might even pay up more. You see how much they paid up when the playoff came. Like, damn, you know what? These guys didn't win the conference championship, but hey, you know what? We owe these guys. These guys brought a lot to the table, and they gave us all the damn money that most other conference would have took away.
Mm-hmm.
When they gave us the bonuses, when they gave all the college money to all the winning, with the bulk of the winning of the earnings to us. So I think the ACC probably will pay us more as of right now. I'm not saying that they'll pay us more than the Big Ten or the SEC, but I think they will pay. Hell, they may have to rent us out while we here. Shit,
it's true. That's true.
Yeah.
One last thing before I get you out of here for the last minute, Lickerdale, and appreciate you coming on and be back next week when we really break down and preview Stanford and stick around in the chat too, please. What I did want to ask you real quick, what do you think about Miami's preseason AP ranking 7? Fair or shit? What do you think?
I take the fair on that because we always we like to come from the gutter anyway. Miami has these last they say 20 years. Miami have proven being ranked up high that we can sustain that ranking and keep the thing going. So I think still having that chip on the edge because we not back yet. You're not back till you get a championship and then a playoff appearance the next season. Until we get that championship season back, then I know that hey, we should be better than what we are. But I like where we at. I like where we at right now because we not back. We haven't even won a conference. We haven't even won an ACC championship yet.
You know what? Stay with me, Lickerdale. I want you just to stick with me while I address that too, because I'm going to tell you this. That is something that definitely needs to be done this year more than ever. Obviously,
Right.
The goal is 6-26. Look, and I agree with Mel B on that, Larry. And you know what? What a fucking crime it is, honestly, that we've not won it yet. We had a chance in 2004 and let just stupidity happen. You saw the kinks in the armor, and then the 2005 losing to Georgia Tech like that after you just beat Virginia Tech's dick in 2 weeks before when nobody gave you a snowball's chance in hell. And
Right.
Yet you had the Orange Bowl kind of messed up. They had to bring in some lights and the stadium was mangled, but yet Calvin Johnson and Reggie Ball beat you and screwed you out of that one. And then it was just a disaster after that. And you have found ways to lose to programs, and then we knew that the wheels had completely fallen off. But it's just like we've only had one ACC championship appearance, the turnover chain year, and we were so beat the shit out of that it really
17.
wasn't even that fair Miami. Yeah, thank you, Larry. So it's just like you got to at least get that monkey off your back this year, number one.
And
two,
what about 2020 when we would have qualified, but Notre Dame jumps in there so that they can get extra consideration for their damn postseason?
And I think that's the big cry. I think that
this son of a bitch. Yep.
Yeah.
when it comes to the ranking, and all that stuff, that's the one thing I think they'll hold over our head as of right now. Like, damn, why we want to boost Miami up to be this and that, and they haven't won ACC. Now we the won the ACC last year and made that run through the playoff. I think would have been a top 5 team instead of top 7.
Oh, yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and here's the other thing, too. I really also want to just stress this real quick before I let you go, Lickerdale, and I'll let you say your piece before you leave. I just think that we've got to win it this year more than ever to have an easier path. Because let me tell you something. We had dogfights. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect what Indiana did, but they had a piece of shit Alabama team, an Oregon team that was way overhyped. And realistically, until Oregon shows me something, yes, they have talent, but realistically, go root for them. But they've not done anything significant when it really mattered. They're regular season champions, and even Texas. There was a Texas beat writer, real quick, for anybody that wasn't paying attention. But if you listen to some of the national shows, there was a Texas beat writer that said, "Oh my God, man! I mean, I'm seeing at least 11 of their 22 starters that should be All-Americans by season end." But then you look at this guy. This guy has the potential of maybe 16. Well, why don't you just put all 22 fucking one of them as the All-Americans? And everybody else is dog shit on the other 137 teams. I mean, could you blow them any harder? And Arch Manning in that group. I'm not saying they're not talented, but guys, until you get winning in the trenches and you got something that can stop the other team and not have the Gators run for 400 yards on your asses when they couldn't even barely cross the 50 against us, kiss my ass. Honestly, kiss my ass. So shit. Go ahead, Lickerdale. Your last 30 seconds, brother.
Right.
Man, I'm fired up about that.
Until we get the ACC championship until we get the ACC championship ring, we'll start getting more respect. We get better respect when it comes to that. But I'm gonna continue to listen out. And the weather's nice. We enjoying it down here. I'm about to go get in the pool and relax a little bit, probably drink a little champagne.
Smoky or stogie.
I just finished doing that. But y'all take care. I continue to listen out, and like I said again, Frank and the Utah family, you extend my apologies, and I'm gonna continue to listen out, and you guys take care. God bless you.
Bless up,
God
bro.
bless you, brother. God bless you. Respect, and you're always welcome. And definitely come back next week because you always bring the heat, baby. Honestly, gonna try to catch this this chat box up. Yep, I'm glad I got Chris Kane hyping Anthony put in the chat. Guys, what are your opinions on the tiebreakers? Do you think it actually helped, or do you think it made it more confusing? Man, at the end of the day, this son of a bitch could have literally just told Duke, kick rocks. We had a tiebreaker situation. We can't be left out of this playoff, and we're going to have Miami and Virginia throw down in Charlotte. And here's the other thing, too. If you think about it, the sad part is geographically Duke and the people showed up for that because it's only a 4-hour drive from Greensboro or 2-hour, whatever it is. It's irrelevant. But the thing is, one thing about Miami, when we are in a big game, we will show up.
Travel.
I mean, we really did great in those playoff games, man. Whether they were in Texas. Here's the other thing, too. A&M knew we would bring a shit ton of fans. That's why they only limited it to like 4,555 we could bring in there and so forth. But when it got to Dallas and Glendale, I mean, that was a different story for the Cotton and the Fiesta Bowl. And then even look what they tried to do in Miami, man. They tried to make that all about Mark Cuban getting a bunch of Indiana fucking people there.
Indiana
and didn't
South.
even let that open there and made those prices ridiculous. So don't forget that. They scared, like what Chris Kane said. And that's one thing that definitely needs to be brought in there. But yeah, no, these tiebreaker rules are shit. And realistically,
well, they changed it.
They changed it. Yeah.
They changed it. So now the ACC champion gets the automatic bid. So they had to change it. They had to change it. And they changed it because Miami made them look like jackasses, because you thought you would keep Miami out of the ACC championship, Jim Phillips, which if they don't get in the ACC championship, you figured they wouldn't get into the college football playoff. But Miami gets into the college football playoff, goes on a run, damn near wins a national championship, made you look like an ass. So you could have let Miami get in the ACC championship as they should have been anyway, going to the fifth metric of a tiebreaker.
Can you imagine?
Bullshit.
I mean, you tell them to kick rocks, man. Honestly, this isn't Krzyzewski and Duke basketball. This was football, man, with Manny Diaz. And realistically, this guy was all about Notre Dame. And then here's the other thing. And then you have Notre Dame saying, "Well, you didn't fight hard for us." Motherfuckers, you can join this conference. You can join any conference, but you just don't want to do it. You do it in the other sports, but you don't do it in football. Okay, so that's what that does. And then I never saw such a penny wuss thing that they did, that they can lose to Miami on November 7th, Larry, but as long as they're in the top 12 of that final ranking, they get to get in automatically. I mean, that must have been a hell of a blowjob.
That was almost that deal is almost as yes
from the back. I never had that.
That deal, let me tell you something. That deal is almost as bad as the damn G5 getting the automatic bid. To me, and that's why they're ranked so high right now. You put them at 4 because you know they have an easy schedule, and you know damn well, yes, SMU has a puncher's chance, but probably won't beat them, although I wish they would. BYU has a shot.
Maybe.
But even if BYU beats them, they're going to drop them a couple of slots because remember, BYU is ranked up there. So that's going to be a definite top 15 matchup. Right? They'll keep them in the top 10.
And Larry, not to cut you off, look at the preseason top 25 there. Let's just say potatoes, that stays like that. There's going to be movement and there's going to be somebody that sneaks in there. But all those teams play each other in some capacity. All those SEC schools, everybody was like, oh, they put 12 SEC schools in the top 15. They all are going to beat each other at some point. It's just about the bias.
You have 9 SEC schools in the top 25. You have 5 in the top 10. This is ridiculous. You're oversaturating the rankings with SEC schools because you want the SEC to get back on top. You're trying to give the SEC an opportunity to get back where they were. Listen, you have not had an SEC school vie for a national championship in 3 years. It's time to admit the playing field has been leveled and the SEC is not what everybody thinks it was. Maybe those SEC Glazers think it is. credit Mr. Brock because he hates SEC just like I hate the SEC.
I was hoping he'd jump on tonight. I want to hear what he thinks where we should go if we should leave or go to the Big Ten over the SEC. I want him to chime in. I'd love it. Keep going, Larry.
Yeah. But you have all of these matchups, and all they're going to do is they're just going to reposition each SEC school. When Ole Miss plays Georgia, if Ole Miss finds a way to still be ranked in the top 15, Georgia will be a top 3 or 4 team. Let's say Ole Miss does the unthinkable and beats Georgia. They're only going to drop Georgia 2 spots. Then they're going to pump Ole Miss up 4 spots. That SEC bias is crazy. And that's why when I hear people say, Miami, don't worry about the ACC, just do what you got to do. No, you want to win the ACC because that gives you an automatic qualifying bid into the tournament. And here's the best part. If you're undefeated or have one loss Notre Dame and you win the ACC, you're pretty much all but guaranteed a bye week getting into the second round. So, yeah, I want the ACC. I don't want the ACC championship because Miami's never won none. I want it because it potentially makes the path to the national championship that much easier. I don't want to go on a game, have a first-round game. Even though it was beautiful how we won it and it was a great feeling, I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't.
Yep, you're right. You're right. And here's the other thing, too. We want that home game just in case.
Yes.
Just in case. Because there's been talk about when they do expand it that, you get the bye. You being top 4, you get the bye. But if they do expand it to 16, that second week when we do play, that's a home game before they start going to the traditional bowl sites and things like that they've talked about. So, that's another situation. So, that's totally facts right there. Honestly, it really is. But yeah, and then the other thing too is you talked about the schedule a couple weeks ago that we've highlighted, and we know we have to do the 1-0. That I'm not saying not to ignore that, but guys. Right. This NCAA ruling that just came out, where there's going to be a couple of guys that won their individual lawsuits that are going to get to go. Like I'm hearing Castellanos is going to go to Texas Tech. So, that's going to make them a little bit better. And then here's the other thing too. Daquan Wright, who was Ole Miss's tight end, is probably going to join LSU. And why that's significant is that Clemson yesterday announced that their starting defensive tackle is suspended indefinitely because he got arrested Saturday night. That was kind of not big national news, but if you took it, they did suspend him indefinitely. So he may be ready back by the Miami game, but he's not going to be available for the LSU game in week 1. And that's just made LSU an easier thing. And why that hurts is that Clemson may not be ranked because they lose to LSU. So if you want Miami's schedule to look good, if you care about things like that, you want ranked opponents and you want Clemson to win, and that just looks like it got harder for them to do based on the fact that they have dog shit and they don't have what they used to. Dabo's already got a foot out the door, and realistically, Lane Kiffin's doing whatever he can to bring another stud that already knows his offense that can just walk right in there, that's in playing shape, and is going to make their offense even better in Daquan Wright, if that even goes the way that it's supposed
Stallion,
to.
But like we were texting offline and talking. I don't understand how they can allow this. How can the NCAA allow somebody that's been to an NFL training camp? This fucker couldn't even make the roster for the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
Would you allow him to go back to college?
Yeah, and Jack Pyburn has got a practice role already with the Buccaneers. He should be glad that he's got a practice role. You know what, Mel? Who was it? Mel B the other night that said on You Talk Beautifully that realistically only such a small percentage gets to the NFL. Okay, and the truth of the matter is that to even make a practice squad is something because you're making money. Yeah, you're a glorified tackling dummy, but here's the other thing too. Injuries have happened and you can be elevated in no time. And then here's the thing. You catch lightning in a bottle. You may not be noticed by them, but there's another team like the Dolphins or something. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's pay them a bunch of money, and then we'll still be asked for 40 years. But still, you made a career at a fucking smaller team in the NFL. But at the end of the day, man, this is just chicken horse shit, you know. And then I laughed my ass off, you know, no disrespect because I know you're a Carolina fan, at the guy that left North Carolina thinking he was at Louisville, and Louisville's piping up like, look what we got for Duke in North Carolina and Miami this year. And then they lost that guy and then the other guy within a span of 12 hours. I mean, they look like asses, that little midget asshole coach of theirs at Louisville. I can't stand that bastard. So, I mean, honestly, you know that? I mean, he's another little sniveling prick like this guy behind me, honestly.
Right.
So, with a plastic smile, and he's 5'4" on a good day. Not that I'm a giant, but shit, because I don't try to act taller than I am. I mean,
Right.
get the hell out of here. The hell out of here. 5'9" on a good day. Lied and put 5'10" on my driver's license. Who cares? So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, it's just what it is, man. But it's soft as shit, man. It really is. And you have 5 years. And look, if there was a situation where you had a medical hardship, or a major injury and so forth like that, the COVID stuff is over, in terms of how many years we gave people to play it. I mean, I still think back to those poor kids that were spring athletes and didn't even get to play in a March Madness or get a College World Series.
Yeah.
They didn't give them an extra year. They did, and they were the ones that should have gotten it over anybody. Anybody, those poor kids, honestly.
Facts.
And I'm not trying to get political and all that, but it's like, how much more do we have to reward anybody that was graduating high school at that time? You didn't even give a fuck about the people that were in college that were graduating from their respective universities.
Facts.
That's shameful. That's
Facts.
Shameful. Fuck you. Honestly. So,
yes.
but that's what I've got right there. Larry, I love what you said. I'm going to catch the chat box, but I want to give you, talk about some of the stuff nationally that's going on. I think I kind of surprised you with that Clemson news because that really broke. I read that today. It was late last night, but he is suspended indefinitely pending further thing. But what are some of the national headlines that you shared on UTalk the other night that I just absolutely died laughing? So, yeah.
Well, first things first, Brent Venables, head coach of Oklahoma, he got a 6-year contract extension that's going to pay him $10.5 million through 2031. Now, why they decided to give it to him, I don't know. He started off in 4 years. He went 6-7, 10-3, 6-7, and then 10-3 last year. You did beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, but you turned around and lost to him in the college football playoff. So I don't know. Listen, I'm not mad at him for getting his money. Do what you got to do. But I just don't know. And, and it was a contract year, but 6 years, I couldn't understand that. I thought maybe 3 to 4, would have been, but they'll be buying that contract out because Mateer was definitely the reason why he started off so hot last year. Mateer will probably start off hot again, but once Mateer's out of there, they'll be back down to reality. So
can I just throw something out there? Mm-hmm. Unless they don't think they can get anybody better, but at the end of the day, it's still Oklahoma. It's still they talk about the basketball blue bloods. I'd say Oklahoma's still a blue blood in football with their tradition of the Barry Switzer and all that shit. I mean, if you go like from like the start to now, but you're right though, man. I mean, like they must think that they can't do better, and they feel that they can solve the offense because he'll always get defense in there. And you've seen Clemson take a slide since he has left there. I mean, I will say that, but again, do you really want to extend somebody that hasn't really done anything? Because it's not like Oklahoma won the SEC either. It's not like they're in the Big 12 still. I could see it if they were in the Big 12, but you gotta get through that SEC shit, man.
It's a gauntlet.
I mean, their baseball team won the College World Series. That coach should have been extended before this motherfucker. So, but keep going with the national headlines. And I will put the link up there if you want to come in for 5 minutes to speak your piece about anything. If you've already gone, thank you next week. But anybody that hasn't had a chance to come on, I'm going to put the link up here in a second. But go ahead, Larry. Keep going with the national stuff.
3 hours south of Norman, Oklahoma, south of Dallas, Fort Worth area. Let's get to TCU, to the Horned Frogs. So they had a transfer safety from Louisiana Tech named Joshua Fields. This guy was an all-conference USA co-defensive player of the year. Tremendous upside. This guy had a starting role with the Horned Frogs. But he was getting in there, man, asserting himself, really doing his thing. For whatever reason, it seemed that some players were ragging him, and he reported it to some of the coaches. Nothing got done. Well, I don't know if he ate his spinach, but he definitely channeled his inner Popeye. He stood all he could stand, and he couldn't stand no more. And the wide receiver kept fucking with him, so he beat his fucking ass. Beat the shit out of him so bad that the guy is in the hospital right now, and his status for week 1, which is in 2 weeks, is out. He's out. He's out of the game.
Oh my God.
Like I said the other night on UTalk, man, what kind of an ass whipping did you take 2 weeks in advance that you're fucked up in a hospital and now you're out of the fucking season opener?
So he beat the brakes off of Little Prince, didn't he? I mean, I'm telling you, Jesus.
He beat the brakes, the starter, the alternator, and the fan belt off of that motherfucker. So, He's out. He's out. So, like I was saying, if there's a record that anything was reported, I mean, this could be litigation because this guy, if he had any kind of NFL prospects or NFL upside, he got dismissed from the team. But if the guy was messing with him and he reported it, I mean, you do what you got to do, So we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, his representative said that he can go wherever if anybody wants to pick him up. I know coaches may stay away, but once again, if he's a solid player and this only happened because he was getting messed with, listen, if he can play Mario, I'll take him. I'll take him right now because if he'll swing on you and beat the shit out of you, that tells me what kind of heart that you got. So I'll take him. So this is not football related, but we got to go to Penn State because this was the news of the news of the year. So you've got a cocaine ring going on with two fraternities at Penn State. And Stallion, I don't know if you saw the mug shots of these kids, but I'm gonna tell you something.
I tried to get a picture of them. I tried to get a picture, but it wouldn't load while you were talking. But
the mug shots of these kids, I got news for you. These kids, most of them, you could tell they've never been in trouble a day in their life. You better believe when the feds throw the time at them, somebody is snitching. Somebody is gonna tell it all. You could tell it's gonna be some shit. So anyway. You had
something tells me they won't be anal retentive much longer when they get in where they deserve to go. Keep going.
But the thing about it that gets me is the two frat leaders or whatever. They were cutting and packaging cocaine and having it transported across state lines. So now you're going to get interstate drug trafficking charges, which is the feds and the DEA is going to get on your ass, probably looking at a RICO as well. And what really makes this crazy is that you had the pledges cutting and packaging the cocaine for you. That was part of their pledge practices to become part of a fraternity. I feel sorry for some of those guys because, at 18 years old, you want to pledge a frat. It's not right, but you deep down inside, I probably won't get caught. This will never get caught. I got to do what I got to do to get into this fraternity. Well, guess what? You just committed a felony because now you're an accessory to drug trafficking across state lines. And I think the most interesting part of this story is that one of the lead dealers, his dad, who is a Pittsburgh defense attorney, this motherfucker, which I don't understand what the fuck you're doing, after your son gets arrested, you try to go intercept the safe that has the dope and the cash in it and move it. Now, guess what? They hit you with tampering with evidence. You have now caught a charge with your dumb ass. So
and
now
you're going to get disbarred too. While
you're going to get disbarred. Nobody's going to. You go from being a Pittsburgh defense attorney to probably having to get a public defender to try to represent your ass. You don't stand a ghost ball's chance in hell. So, like I said the other night, man, I hope Penn State don't have a whiteout game because if they do, that's just a poor choice of words to use given what happened with this situation.
I'm going to tell you this right now because I got somebody backstage that's I'm sure going to light the fire. I can't wait to bring him on too. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. That does give new meaning to the term whiteout over there. It makes you wonder what was going on. Maybe Drew Aller was, smoking it, blowing it, and, checking out pretty girls. No wonder that was a bad season last year in Happy Valley. I mean, and why in the world did Matt Campbell leave? I mean, I know it's not football related, but still, the jokes and the signs that are going to be there. God forbid they have a game day, there, but they're the game day going to somebody else like an Ohio State or someone like that. I mean, that would just be unbelievable.
Do you know what my prediction is going to be if Penn State has a game day, if they're somewhere?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to probably have a bag with some flour in it. And you're probably going to get a bag of flour tossed in the middle of a game. I'm telling you. And then the camera's going to pan in, and then the announcers, they're going to try not to reference it, but they're going to have to break it. Well, there were some off-the-field allegations that went down, and I guess this is a reference towards it. So you're going to see it, man. But for anybody that's watched Power, I'm a big Power fan. I've been watching Power since it came out. Book 2 Ghosts with Tariq and Braden, man. Those kids watched the wrong television show because in Book 2, Tariq and Braden were actually students at a university. They had a thing called Course Correct, and they were dealing dope on campus. So I know where the inspiration for this shit came from. So Man.
And these little boys ain't that. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Close.
Not even close. And here's the other thing too. This is the same university that covered up that horrendous scandal and let that if Fright could be frightened, that piece of shit get away with what he did. But you know what? It kind of goes with the term, they were tired of doing elephant walks where you grab the guy's dick in front of you to pledge and walk around naked at 4 a.m, hoping to God the girls aren't walking their walk of shame watching you, but instead you're cutting and packing that stuff to get a felony charge. I mean, crazy. Get the hell up, Penn State. What the hell is wrong with you?
They better not ever say shit about Miami again.
Nothing.
No Penn State fan better say nothing about Miami.
Kiss my ass, honestly. Here's the other thing, too. I want to bring him on. Listen, if you haven't caught his show on this channel, baby, it's 6:30 Wednesday nights. Bring him on, baby. Give him the love he deserves. In the house is the one, the only, Big Game Kerry Reeves wanted to come on here. What's up, brother?
What is
up? Doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, man. Larry, I saw that Penn State bit, and that gives new meaning to the term Happy Valley. It's so many ways. Brand new meaning to the term Happy Valley. You got 18-year-olds that are about to do 5 to 10.
Hey, Kerry, I got to be honest with you. When you came in and your introductory phrase was "What's up?" I would say to powder up some of those people's noses.
Hey, what was that song, real quick here? What was that song from what's their names, Leonard Skinner back in the day? Ooh, that smell! Can't you smell that smell?
Yeah,
the smell that surrounds you.
I got a better
Happy Valley, man.
I got a better one for you.
Oh, you got a better one? Hit me with it.
Ride the white horse.
Yep, ride it, baby. Ride it, baby.
Here we go. So go ahead with the
white pony. Oh my God! When I saw them mug shots, all I could do was just sit back and laugh and go, "Damn, where's Sherrod Moore when you need him?" Because that would have been right up his alley. That would have been right up his alley to go with everything else. That was the only thing missing was a drug charge. That would have completed the entire cycle for Sherrod Moore.
Can I just throw this out there? This is why Indiana won the title, because here you got Cignati scheduling the easy out of conference opponents. He's dealing with a guy adjusting his pants with OnlyFans. He's dealing with Ryan Day doing soap operas when Jeremiah Smith fucking commits to them because he's a closet homo. And then you got the other, and then you got this shit going on at Penn State.
Right.
I mean, no wonder he's the one that goes into that house. He screws their wife, drinks their brandy on the way out, and says, "Make me dinner tomorrow night, bitch."
Exactly.
I mean, that's why Indiana ain't going nowhere, guys. He has got that conference on by the balls. Go ahead, Big Game Kerry Reeves. So yeah.
I love the conversation you're having tonight about Miami. I think, and I'm an SEC guy first, but I love college football. I think Miami should join the SEC. And
Tell me why, brother.
I want to propose a trade.
Okay.
We will take Miami and Florida State. We will give the ACC Missouri and South Carolina. I want those two bases the hell out of this conference. Missouri shouldn't be in this conference to begin with. They've done nothing for this conference.
And they never will.
South Carolina, well, they should be an AC school to begin with because they were an ACC school back in the day. Right. They should get back in that conference. And the other reason, Miami and Florida State, think of the rivalries you would have in the three sports. You could schedule Miami, you could schedule Florida against Miami and Florida State, Alabama, both Texas teams, Georgia, Tennessee. Think about that. All of them, you could make a schedule alone off those teams.
That's right.
And Kerry, not just football. And Kerry, not just football. You being an SEC guy of all the baseball, basketball now with Miami. And here's the thing: Florida State's got a great coach, by the way. I mean, I know Leonard Hamilton even had some good years there.
Yes,
but this new guy has really turned Florida State around. I mean, and he's a Florida State guy. He knew what it took, and I think he was in the Knicks' front office, or he worked for an NBA team before he came back to Florida State. So they're going to be more successful in basketball this year. And I think it's kind of funny, if you're a Gator or Knoll fan right now, you're basically like, when's Midnight Madness? I mean, that's what the fuck you're asking in August. And I used to be that way as a Miami fan with Larinaga there for a while.
And I also look at the TV.
Horrible feeling.
ESPN and ABC would own college football. You put Miami and Florida State, they would own college football.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
The Big Ten can take the New York market, that Chicago market with the sorry ass teams with Rutgers and Northwestern, the California teams with USC and that sorry sack of shit on the South End, UCLA, with that quarterback Nico, who had the nerve to come out and say, I love it at UCLA. Yeah, you love it at UCLA because nobody else will take your ass.
I'm sure you're lucky your $2 million taxed the shit out of you stupid bastard. I mean, goodness gracious.
UCLA. Nobody else wants you. They can take all that crap stuff. Give me Miami and Florida State. You control the South. You have the whole South and the Southwest. You control all that. And you would control college football. You control college football.
And baseball and basketball.
And baseball and basketball. ESPN would have a field day. Scheduling Miami, getting the matchups. I guarantee you they would stick. The SEC sets the matchups too, but I guarantee ESPN would go, hey, let's get Miami in here against Alabama. Let's get them in here against Georgia. Let's get Florida State in here against a Tennessee or one of the Texas teams. Get Texas and Miami. I don't think they've played since the Cotton Bowl in 1990. That would actually be fun. That would be fun to see again.
You're going to see the ugly head of that rear itself on November 7th, because that day is you're going to have Georgia and Ole Miss and LSU and Alabama. But Miami and Notre Dame is going to be your premier game of the day.
It is the premier game of the day. And Miami's going to I think Miami beats them by 2 touchdowns. I do too. Besides, I think Notre Dame will lose a game before that game. Yeah.
BYU.
I'm going to tell you this. Wouldn't it be such a Luke Fickle thing if Wisconsin did pull it off?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be such a Luke Fickle? Or Big Game Rhett. What does Devin call Rhett Lashley? I love that name he gives him.
Rhett cut the check Lashley.
Rhett cut the check Lashley. And let me tell you something. We owe that fucking team something, man. I hope I hope either Louisville or SMU is there in Charlotte December, whatever it is. Honestly, I mean it, guys. I want one of the 2 teams on their ass.
I actually think one of them will be there because you don't play them in the regular season. So I think this is a chance for them to one of them to get to Charlotte and face Miami. I think one of them will end up playing Miami in the ACC championship game. I really do.
I'd love for it to be SMU personally, because you got all those Miami ties that's at SMU. You got De'Aaron King. He's a quarterback coach. You got Red Lashley, former Miami OC. You got a bunch of Miami transfers that went over there. They threw down to you when they beat us. And it really has become a de facto rivalry.
Yes,
an unofficial de facto rivalry with all of that. So I'd love to see SMU.
I will say this about SMU. They definitely have pulled their weight when they came to the ACC. And I think they're even having to pay their own way because they didn't get the deal Stanford and Cal got. So they're not even getting anything. They just wanted to be relevant to try to – and so they're paying their own way. And realistically,
Miami did get the deal that Cal and Stanford got when they joined. This is back in the 90s.
And they have done nothing. I mean, all it is we've added more fuel cost and travel to have to be over there for a fucking week and then come over here for a week. Exactly.
And bump up the GPAs.
That's it. I mean, they've done nothing to this conference.
That's all they've done. Right. But yeah, the conversation you guys have been having is great. Yeah, at the Penn State thing, I couldn't stop laughing. So I was laughing so hard. It was just, I was on the floor, Larry. I was literally on the floor when I saw the mug shots and I read her. I'm sitting there going, you stupid bastard.
Hey, Carrie, we
got a question.
But this is 2 steps too far, man. Come on.
Karen, we got a question for you. A big game. Does Notre Dame really have as clean of an image as they say? They've been around long enough. Like, you've been such a college football person? Are they as clean as they make themselves out to be up there in South Bend?
Nah, they're not as clean, man. The Catholics versus convicts bit should have clued y'all in on how dirty and things can get up there around South Bend and Notre Dame. But no, they're not clean. Nobody's clean. There's no such thing as a clean image all over college football. The image that Indiana want to project to you as a clean, nobody's clean.
No, they got that Mr. Rogers up there.
And speaking of which, there was stories came out that Notre Dame doesn't want to play Indiana because Indiana wants a 3-game series with 2 of the games in Bloomington and 1 in Notre Dame. Now, Bloomington Stadium only holds about 55, maybe 60,000. Notre Dame Stadium holds about 80.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame, and their wisdom, did not want to do a 1 for 3. And they even compromised that the third game, one in Bloomington, one in Notre Dame, and one in Indianapolis.
Now that would have made sense in the Big Dome.
And they turned it down.
Yeah.
I hate Notre Dame, and it's not because of the Miami. It's not because of the Miami
it's because
rivalry.
They think they're bigger than who they really say.
The entitlement.
Yes.
Yeah,
the entitlement.
The entitlement of Notre Dame.
And they haven't done shit. I mean, they've been to 2 national titles. They've not even had a Heisman Trophy winner. You know,
No.
I mean, I still remember the days when Beano Cook was blowing everybody in the early days of ESPN Game Day, talking about how Ron Paulus was going to win 4 fucking Heisman trophies. Get the hell out of here! And Bob Davie and all that. Get out of here, honestly. So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. And let me tell you this: I hope SMU gets it done against them, or any. I mean, listen, because I know what Miami's going to do. I hope Miami's the nail in the coffin that they are out of the top 25 or something, or out of that top 12 bullshit that they.
Because I really believe they're going to lose before they'll lose before the Miami game. I'm telling you, man.
I've had a lot of conversations where I vocalized that I want SMU and BYU to beat them, and they're like, "Well, why? We need them." I said, "No." I said, "I would much rather." Because the thing about it is, Miami's going to do what they have to do in the ACC to get to the ACC championship and get into the playoffs that way. My thing is, I want, just like what Stallion said, if they have 2 losses and they're teetering right there near that number 12 spot, Miami will be the nail in the coffin, and Miami will officially eliminate you entitled bastards from the playoff. That I would want that more than just beating.
Exactly. Notre Dame needs Miami more than Miami needs Notre Dame.
Thank you.
It's like they're not going to resume the USC series for 5 years. Remember, they need USC more than USC needs them. USC's got the conference. Notre Dame's just by themselves with their NBC money, just sitting there, go, seeing who they're going to jack out of more money in about 5 years when the next TV contract comes up.
I mean, you know what's just crazy to me is that, you know, Notre Dame talked about the reason for why they didn't want to join a conference in the first place was because they had these traditional rivalries with the USC and the Michigans, and they felt that would even itself out. Well, you don't have a rivalry with Michigan anymore.
Nope.
As far as I know, you don't have a rivalry with USC anymore. So who the fuck do you really have a rivalry with? Purdue ain't shit. I mean, that doesn't count, you know, and then you're not
Purdue
even playing.
Doesn't count on the grand scale of life. After that, AD opened his mouth and said, "If you want to win championships, come to Purdue. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana." They do know Purdue. The last championship they won was in women's golf in 2010.
Oh, I'm telling you. I mean,
the only bright spot about Purdue football was producing Drew Brees. That's it.
And that was on the same week of his Hall of Fame induction. And one of the questions he had to answer at Canton was, "What do you think about your new athletic director?" And he said, "No comment."
Nah,
that should tell you something, right? And he's on the board. He approved this fucking guy getting hired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anthony wants to know, this is a question for you, Larry, and Big Game. And guys, if you want to come on, the link is in the chat box. If you've already been on, next week is your week to come back on. But we need to give some others a chance here for 5 minutes to speak their piece. But Larry, Big Game, can you explain the double standard that Southern Cal and Miami have in terms of the media coverage? It seems like they get treated differently than everybody else, talking about the LA and Miami markets, I guess. So, yeah.
I'll let you take that one, Larry.
As far as what, does he feel like they're not getting the same treatment? Like they're.
I think he's maybe insinuating that those media markets are tougher on the local schools compared to, I guess, the other media. I can answer that one, being a media guy myself. Mm-hmm. It's because here's the deal. Miami, there's so much going on in Miami and Los Angeles. Those universities, and I'll even throw UCLA being there because there's other universities in the Miami area. But if you're talking about big name Power 4 type teams, you know, LA's got UCLA, USC, obviously. Miami's just got Miami. But the thing is they don't have to depend on that. Podunk, Tuscaloosa, all they got is Alabama. Exactly. If they even near smited St. Sabin, I mean, you'd never have another story. Your paper might as well just fold up at that point, or your TV station or whatever. Yep. I mean, because you had to kiss their ass because that's all you got there. If you've got a major team or other stuff to do, that's why the standard is there. They don't have to kiss anybody's ass. Now, with somebody like Mario, I can't speak for Riley over there, Lincoln, for USC, and now the new coach from James Madison that's now at UCLA. But I'll tell you this. Mario and Larry and me have been the subject of that. They don't like our shows because we've kind of told it how it is, and we're not. Listen, but here's the thing: I want to set the record straight, and you can even check back the old U Talk episodes that I was guesting on. I was one of the biggest praisers, whether I was on screen or calling in. I was wanting Mario to be here, but I didn't realize, guys, how much stuff needed to be done and how this cancer had to be eradicated from the program. I'm not on the bandwagon now. From the beginning, we wanted Mario to do well, but it's also our job that we keep this accountable, and now they are doing that because that's what needs to be done, because we know what it looks like when it's fucking good, and it was looking like dog shit on the bottom of your shoe. Larry Frank.
Let me say this. I have atoned for a lot of my Mario Cristobal criticism in the first couple of years of his tenure, but I have to briefly revert back to some harsh criticism. Mario Cristobal, I appreciate what you're doing for Miami right now. I appreciate where you're bringing us. But Mario, why the fuck are you on Pat McAfee saying that the ACC is better than the SEC?
Yeah.
You've got Nick Saban calling you out. It's just certain things you don't do. And I listen, you let Miami's track record speak for itself in these individual games. Yes, we have won 5 straight against the SEC. We took out 3 of them last year, 2 in the college football playoff. Don't go on national media saying shit like this. Because let's be honest. Yes, I know the ACC beat a lot of these SEC teams in head-to-head matchups. I know that. But top to bottom, the SEC is producing more draft picks as a conference than the ACC.
Yes.
The SEC has had more recent success at national championship level programs than the ACC. And listen, the Big Ten right now is the big dogs of college football because they've won 3 straight national championships. So if anything, if anybody can claim that they're better than the SEC, it would be the Big Ten right now. I just had a little bit of a problem with Mario going on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
You go on a nationally televised show like that, you say that. I just feel like that's unnecessary stuff that you're putting on Miami's back that you don't have to. Because now, if you get an SEC matchup in the playoff, that comment is going to get played. That's going to be bulletin board
over and over and over.
If you face an SEC team.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is he should have just stuck to the 1-0 thing. Well, if we play them, and we'll worry about them then. And he must have gotten in the moment with McAfee. And real quick, Anthony did say to clarify, it seems that the national media tends to overblue when those 2 schools have players get arrested on the criminal charges, like the USC's and the Miami. They bring up the history, but they ignore the OSU, the Bamas, and the Georgias. I'll tell you the reason why, Anthony, and here's why. Because are you really going to cross Reese Davis, an Alabama grad, Kirk Herbstreit, an Ohio State grad, and for a while there, Georgia had a couple of big David Pollock and stuff like that. And these were guys that were making major money, not Pollock anymore, but I'm just saying that Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit pretty much can do whatever the fuck they want to until they either mess it up themselves or get offered more money by CBS or Fox or someone like that. But why would they mess up that sweet gig? So you're not going to piss the – listen, for a long time, when Lee Corso was running the show,
forget Joey Galloway's
Joey Galloway. But they never messed with Florida State
That's
either.
Son of a bitch.
They never messed with Florida State because of Lee Corso. They never did. I mean, even Colorado, not that they were anything great. When Fowler was running things, you couldn't talk bad about Colorado or anything that was going on there. So there were certain personalities that have big time things that are not going to be touched until they are not there anymore. And unfortunately, we don't have anybody big that represents Miami, and there's certainly not anybody at USC. And for a while there, they did let USC slide because of Pete Carroll and that shit. Go ahead, Kerry. What were you going to say?
And USC doesn't get the same coverage anymore in LA because they're not exactly very high on the sports pecking order. The thing is, you've got the Dodgers, you've got the Lakers, you've got the Rams, the Chargers. You got your 5th already in line behind those guys. And that's not even throwing in the Angels, or let's throw in UCLA. Let's throw in the hockey teams. Let's throw in the Kings, San Jose. So USC football is not at the top of the media pinnacle anymore. So they're able to slide by with a few things. And Matt Leinert's on Fox. Heisman Trophy winner, USC. You know they're not going to say
Brady Quinn's on Fox too.
Notre Dame. They're not going to say much.
Mark Ingram's on.
Well, you had Mark Sanchez until he had his.
You know, him and Tony Romo should have a good time together sometime and talk about which was the better quarterback in their respective playing days of the pro and the college. I'll answer this, Anthony, real quick. You know, if Ray Lewis or Ed Reed was on ESPN as an announcer, they wouldn't be talking shit about Miami. Not to those two.
Ray Lewis was on there. He was part of NFL Countdown. He was part of NFL Countdown for a couple years.
The thing about
it is before Stuart Scott passed away.
Exactly, but you also have to look at the fact that you had Michael Irvin and Warren Sapp part of NFL Game Day Network. And anytime something happened with Miami, they're going to highlight. Here's the deal. Miami is always going to get criticized because of how dominant they were in the 80s and how dominant of a program they were and how unapologetic and how rebellious they were.
Yep.
And guess what? College football hated that. When you look at how Miami retired Jerry Faust, when you look at how Miami embarrassed Barry Switzer, when you look at how Miami just dominated.
Those blue bloods at the time.
Look at the Cotton Bowl. Look at the Cotton Bowl when Randall Thrill-Hill catches the touchdown and comes out with the 21, gun salute.
And the hook, and to hook him down.
And to hook him down and all of that shit. So, and when you look at 2001 Miami, when you hear the Ed Reed speech, this is the type of shit that they hate. I'm going to say it like it is. I'm going to call it like it is because Mel B has said it a lot from being there. Miami, from a cultural standpoint, his words, you ain't supposed to have all them brothers on the team doing what they did the way that they did it, being disrespectful to everybody else. And America did not like that shit. You're doing it. Look at how they did Brian Bosworth in Oklahoma, calling his room at night, making an ass
at the Fountain Blue.
Miami did enough shit. So at the end of the day, long story short, anytime a Miami player runs into legal troubles or any kind of legal situation, it's going to get hyped up and it's going to get exacerbated more than what it has to be. Case point, the Jordan Lyles situation. Goes to USA Today. Come on, man. A kid that hit his car, like Chris Kane said, we don't even know if it was him. But the car that was registered to him in excess of 130 miles an hour, he turns himself in on the warrant. Why is this national news?
Yeah, why? Well, here's the other thing, too. And, Kerry, you have no allegiance to Miami. You are a Tennessee guy. So this is somebody that is neutral, that is just giving you what he thinks about this as well. I'm also going to throw this out there, guys, okay? I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to do my best Chris Kane impression, but there's only one Chris Kane. Let me let you in on something, okay? Why has nobody even talked anymore about the Brian Potta documentary that was supposed to be released in January? Why hasn't ESPN released that yet?
Interesting.
It was supposed to be released in regards to the Rashawn Jones who killed him, his own teammate. Yes, that happened. So here's my thing. ESPN has that in the canister. They're just ready to release it if this thing falls off the wheels for Miami. They want Miami to fail. And that is where the thing has not been released yet, because what Miami did in January was improbable, and they were ready to release that. It's been pushed back. It's like that movie that, we need to do some recuts real quick because, we tested it with audiences and it – get the fuck out of here. You're insulting our intelligence. Okay, these are real things, guys, that I want you as fans to be educated about. And let me tell you this. We've had Miami fans. They're great at tailgating, don't know shit about football. You can cook me un puerco anytime. But I'm just telling you, listen, I love partying with you. Listen, I roll with this fan base over any other fan base, okay? And that even goes for my alum being Tennessee, because I love tailgating with you people. But when sometimes you sound uneducated with football and everything like that, I have to call this out sometimes. But I'm just being honest with you. If the wheels do fall off on this season or any season,
that's coming out.
That documentary will be out there. And it's shameful. It really is. I mean, and this isn't the ID fucking channel. So you know what I mean? It's the truth.
Thank you.
So yeah, for sure. So we'll get there, Anthony. We'll get there. Listen, this has been a fire show. I'm gonna give anybody else that hasn't already been on a couple minutes to jump in and speak their piece. Please do not be afraid to do so. This is a conversation that we are just having. You know, we can talk about the national headlines in college football. We can talk Miami. You know what you guys are thinking as we now have transitioned from camp to the fall practice. We can talk about if they should leave the conference or stay, which conference they should go to. This is your time to speak your piece. And as they say, when people are getting married, forever hold it if you don't speak it now. But that being said, we will get to Idiot of the Week in a minute. One last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before, and this is just to give that filler. And I want to thank you guys for coming on. And Kerry, real quick, plug the show, brother. You know, you got a great one coming up this week. And then Larry, also, I want you to talk about You Talk while we're waiting for somebody to jump on. Go ahead.
Got a great show coming up Wednesday night. We're going to talk about the games that are coming up this weekend. I can't believe we're going to be 4 days. When my show comes out, we're going to be 4 days from college football.
Yes, sir.
Interesting game in Ireland between North Carolina and TCU is going to be very interesting. USC being the only ranked team to get out started early, which is interesting enough. And some of the other games, you got networks that I wrote down on the screen. We'll find out more about them, but we're going to talk more about the games coming up the next weekend, which is going to be a whole lot of fun. You got some big ones like LSU, Clemson, Boise State, Oregon. You got some fillers with Wisconsin and Notre Dame. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm also going to talk about week 2 of the NFL, and I got a couple of idiots of the week, one in college, one in pro, that y'all really need to listen to, especially on the college level, because I'm about to slam an entire institution. I'm about to slam an entire institute. Yeah.
Yeah. Larry, before you plug You Talk, I do want to answer Anthony's question. How crazy would the city of Miami Beach or South Florida be in general if the Panthers in hockey win another Stanley Cup and the Hurricanes win a championship in the same season? It would be huge, man. It would be absolutely awesome because here's the thing. They ain't going to do shit in the NBA, even with the Greek Freak down there. That's a fact.
Really?
The Dolphins are going to go 0-6. They'll make the playoffs, but yeah, I'm just a realist.
Dolphins are going to go 0-17.
The Dolphins are going 0-17.
That's just straight I saw.
Yeah, that's 0-17. The Dolphins are dog shit, and then the Marlins nobody cares about but 5 people. I mean, that's what it is.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it's the truth. So yeah. But no, I mean, look, listen, it's nice that the Greek Freak is there, but they don't have any pieces around them, and the East has really gotten loaded, and I just don't think that they'll make the playoffs. But in what capacity? Is it that 7 through 10 shit, and they're going to be sent home before it gets to the real? I mean, that's what just pisses me off.
They're the 8th best team in the East. That's all.
I think your Bulls might have a better season. I think your Bulls with Caleb Wilson might have a better season.
So I was about to say, so you're saying the Miami Heat are going to become the Chicago Bulls because that's all I have every year.
Pretty much. I mean, we had some nice seasons, but until we get a roster that's competitive and not just throwing money at guys 5 or 6 years after when you should have given them the big time contracts. And I love Pat Riley like the next guy. We were nothing before him. We had some nice teams with Kevin Lockery, but until Riley got there, we were nothing. And I'm just saying it right now that the Heat are just another team right now, and I love the Godfather and Pat Riley, but that's what I say about that. But Larry, go ahead with You Talk though, baby. So
yeah, this is our last off week. The next time we come back, we will have our hype show a week from this Thursday, which will be the night before.
That's
Miami
the 3rd. That will be September 3rd, according to the calendar. Right
September the 3rd. Thank you for the assist. So we'll be on that Thursday night doing the hype show. We'll be previewing Stanford. We'll be probably talking about, we'll figure out what the topic of conversation, but it'll be mostly previewing Stanford, getting ready for the season. And then that following Sunday, we'll go back to the Sunday morning schedule, myself and AO with the recap show. So we'll recap, Canes football, and adding to that, we're going to actually do a college football recap. Any upsets, big games, and stuff like that, that happens for college football weekend. So we're just expanding things on the network. We're just trying to do big things and take it in a different direction. So, yeah, we got a big guest coming up real soon. The promos will be dropping who that big guest will be. So be on the lookout. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Can't wait. I can't wait for it, man.
I do want to do this before we get to the idiot of the week. And again, people, I wanted to just the chat box real quick was fire as of late. Thank you guys, and thank you, Proud Cat Dad of 8. Listen, man, you come on if you want to speak your piece. You don't even have to really show your face either, guys. There's people that literally, it's not even about the face, but if you just want to just audio call in like that, this is your opportunity. Just click the camera off for the video, and you have 5 minutes. I just want that preference so everybody has a chance to speak your piece. That's what this show's all about. And there's not anything politically correct or anything of that nature. I just want to have a discussion about football because it's here, guys. This is like Christmas for us adults. The kids can get excited about tricycles and dolls and all that. This is our Christmas, baby. And let me tell you, I feel sorry for some of these teams that know that they're going to be dog shit because you waited all year for it, but you're still going to watch because there's nothing, you have to wait again. And we were there, man, as a Tennessee fan, Miami fan. I mean, it's been shit. It really has. So honestly, and listen, I got Proud Cat Dad on, coming on for 5 minutes to speak his piece. So, hey, I like it. Before we get to the predictions. So, hey, how are you doing, sir? Welcome. Hold on, before you talk, welcome.
How you doing, sir?
Sir, speak your piece. You're on.
How you doing, sir?
Just a couple things about Florida. There's no way we're going to play them again in the regular season. Why? Because the SEC is going to 9 games. They're not going to give up one of their gimme games for us, and they're playing Florida State.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
yeah, and they, I mean, they're not going to want to play us anyway, and they're probably going to try to keep us out of conference.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Let me ask you this, Proud Cat. Do you think, do you think Miami should leave the ACC? That's been the topic of the night, to go to the Big Ten or the SEC. And if you do have them leaving, which would be your preference, and what reason would that be? Go ahead, sir.
I mean, we've got rivalries in both conferences. We played Alabama a couple times. We played a lot of the SEC, and then Big Ten. You got your Ohio State and all that stuff. So. It all depends. I mean, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. I mean, can Big Ten give us more? I don't know. But and I was you were talking earlier about the stadium, and you got to realize this is that Miami's student enrollment is like 12,000, and not all of them are local. Some of those are international students who don't really care about football.
That's true.
So our stadiums are filled with fans and their families, not necessarily students. Now, I live up in North Carolina. I've been to some Carolina, Miami games and stuff, and everybody in North Carolina, if you live far away, you're a Carolina fan. So more people are going to go to those stadiums with their families. And then you got a student section. I sat in the student section a couple times. Crazy. So you can't really compare. We're never going to fill up the stadium on a regular basis because we don't have the students, and honestly, it's just too big of a stadium. So it's like comparing apples and oranges from these pairs.
Yeah, I get it.
And not to mention, there's other stuff to do in Miami too. I mean, there's other stuff to do in Miami. And here's the thing, everybody criticizes Miami. Oh, you really want to play in a stadium that's half empty and stuff. But here's the deal: they have shown that when they are winning, they'll fill that son of a bitch up. There will be 60,000 people there.
Why? Because when Miami is on, and if it's a big game, you got all just Miami fans in general traveling from all over. That will pack that stadium.
That is so true.
Miami fans, we travel well on the road. I know I've gone to
Orlando.
I was in LSU when in Dallas.
They travel very nicely on the road. Very impressive. Very impressive.
And you know what the scary thing is, Larry? The years that you're mentioning, we weren't even worth anything. We weren't consistently good. It was always
they still turned out on the road. I'm very impressed.
Because we're loyal. We love the team, and we've been stuck in this rut for 20 years. But go ahead, Proud Cat. So
yeah. So I mean, I've been in the stadium, and that's kind of the way it is. If you live, no matter where you live in North Carolina, some people are Carolina fans and they're going to come. So it's not like Florida, you have all these 5-6 schools and they have their own separate factions. But I was just like that, I wish we could fill it every week, but we're just not. We're made up differently than the others. Other things. We're more, national brand. I mean, with me, I mean, I was raised up in Vermont. So my first team was Miami, and I was 12 years old. So we're more of a national brand. So that's who comes to the games. It's not the students. It's not the families of the students. It's the town people, the city people, the people out of state. They come.
And I'm gonna throw this out there too, Kerry. Keep your train of thought. Like, I'm thinking about what you're saying. Yeah, and there's a lot of alum in the northeast of the country that go that are from Miami. But here's the other thing too. If you do go to the Big Ten, there's really only a handful of schools over there in the northeast. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, you'd be better served to stay still in the coast or the SEC traditionally on this side, because the Midwest is the Midwest. I mean, that's a whole other time zone right there and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we can play in any weather. We can play in any weather. I mean, we can play up north and down south. I like the regional stuff too, like with you guys. But and one more thing, and I'll get off. This whole thing about the pros coming back if they get cut and they can play. I've never been a fan of that, because first of all, it's about culture. It's about I would rather get the young people playing more up ahead. They've been with us for both camps. They've been with us. They know the culture and they know the coaches. Never a big fan of, okay, let's go ahead and get somebody. No, let's just keep what we got. And you know what? If anybody's playing time, how about these youngins? They get more experience, because the more they play, because there's no red shirt anymore, which means they all can play as many games as they want. They're going to be more willing to stay with the program because they were able to play. So but I think that it's like it'd be a disaster. And what's to say these other players are watching this person coming in like, hey, we spent dog days and all these working and this and that. They deserve to be played more than somebody coming in like maybe a hired gun for this.
Exactly.
Can I throw something else out there? How many times, and I know that you can't do potato because, listen, there were some dogs back in Mel B's day and even after that and even before then that should have gotten paid for what they did to bring the sport's attention and everything of that nature. So, again, the sacrifices they made are now being reaped by the players of today. But I'm going to go this further. How many guys in all of our respective teams, we were like, man, they were a damn college player, but they just weren't big enough. They just didn't fit with the team. And then you're going to fucking label them a bust. They didn't get the opportunity to come back to college and kick ass for another year that they adopted. I mean, it's like that's bullshit. You had your time. It's time for somebody else. And again, if you're blessed with a career of 20 years or 15 years in your respective sport, great. You got lucky. But then there's these people that we've had that have had career-ending injuries before they even played one NFL game, and modern medicine and all that. But look, shit happens, unfortunately, The
only exception would be like Wesley or David, somebody who's played with us before. That'd be the only exception,
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So,
that's all I got, guys.
Brother, listen, you're welcome anytime. Please jump on next week. We're definitely going to talk more about Stanford next week. So, absolutely. So, for sure. Thank you, brother.
All right, bro.
Good to see you, man.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Just anybody come on. Chris Kane took a break from work. He's back on. And I'm just saying, anybody that comes on, speak your piece, man. And you don't have to even be on camera. You just talk, and we will talk about, because everybody's got a voice and everybody needs to fucking use it, honestly, seriously.
I wanted to bring up a point where Powered Cat was on. We're talking about playing in stadiums. I wish what they had done with the Orange Bowl when they tore it down was build something a little smaller for Miami and let Miami have that as their own. That was their own stadium in reality to begin with. The Dolphins were just playing there just for the heck of it, but let Miami have their own stadium. They could have redid the Orange Bowl in a Miami Hurricane image. Then you would have your 50 to 55,000, 60,000 seat stadium. Sure. Give the Dolphins Hard Rock. Let them have that place. That's a pro stadium.
It's been a damn curse.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on some Indian burial ground, but
wait.
keep going.
So the site of Hard Rock is that Joe Robbie? Is that where Joe?
Yeah,
Robbie
it's Joe Robbie.
It has been 15 names, Larry, since Joe Robbie Stadium.
Joe Robbie
that's what I
Stadium.
remember as a kid.
Joe Robbie Stadium.
They should just let them build. Just let them build the reboot the Orange Bowl, but do it in a Miami Hurricane image.
Yeah.
Let them do it in that image. Let them do it in that style. Miami would have their own place, their own traditions, their own history, instead of having to go all the way to Full Pleasant. They keep the inner city and keep it in the inner city. Let the inner city, let them celebrate, let them have the Orange Bowl. And I think I just think the revenue from their own stadium would more. You get more student. You'd have a bigger student body. You get more people. You get the money would be used for all things at Miami, fund all programs.
Yep, for sure. No, it's the truth. So, well, we got some college football this week. So before we go to Idiot of the Week, let's get some predictions. By the way, what's the over/under in that game in Dublin that the gold digger girlfriend of Belichick gets railroaded by a bunch of Conor McGregor-looking guys in Ireland or whatever? What do you think? So,
nothing
over/under.
I want to see more than a bunch of leprechauns running the train on Belichick.
Yeah, tell me about it. You need to be running those damn trains.
Oh, you're so much better than Grampy. You give me more money than he does. So, oh my God. Can I have my allowance, Bill? So, oh my God.
Norm,
Big Daddy Bill.
TCU is a 7.5-point favorite.
Take TCU, man. They're going to rail dog those fuckers.
Yeah, the over-under is 49.5. Yeah, I'd take TCU at a 7. Miami, by the way.
What do you think, Larry? What do you think, Larry? TCU, Chris?
4.5 for Miami.
Well, I think TCU. I think TCU covers the 7, but I got an under on players getting their ass kicked again.
There you go.
What do you think, Chris? UNC or TCU?
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
There's our powerful ACC. There's our powerful ACC. So.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something. Whenever you get to this segment, I got back on for a reason because I just got the news that got texted to my phone. But when we get to Idiot of the Week, I have something that is going to be the Idiot of the Year.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna be
Look. Quick note though. I do want to highlight something with that Dublin game. Keep your eye on North Carolina because the last couple of years, the underdog has either won or really been real strong in that game.
That is a fact.
Georgia
Tech last year got their season set off right by winning that game in Ireland, and they went on to have a fantastic year. It wouldn't surprise me. And who was it the year before? Wake Forest was it?
Was it Wake Forest?
Well, Iowa State last year beat
Iowa State. That's who it was.
Yeah, Iowa State beat Kansas State, and then you never heard from Kansas State ever again. So
and
Kansas State was the favorite.
The job at Penn State. It gets the job at the
North Carolina plus 7. That might be a safe bet given the history of how that turned out.
Yep.
It's going to be who can handle the travel, who handles everything while they're over there.
It's true. It's true. Well, and then you got this fucking thing right here. NC State and UVA, and it's not even a conference game. It's just them playing because they wanted to save travel time and couldn't get anybody else. So it will just be who starts 1-0 and who's not. And Virginia is the favorite in this, which I'm not surprised about. But don't sleep on NC State because Dave Doran needs this one, and CJ Bailey and all the transfers that Miami got. So
he needs a good year, or he could be out.
Yeah, because Virginia's a 5.5. What do you guys got in that one, by the way? So
where's the game at?
It's at Virginia. Virginia is the home team technically. So yes, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's part of why they are a 5.5-point favorite.
I may go NC State.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards NC State too.
Because for one, I think NC State's defense is going to be a little bit better than people think.
Yeah.
One guy that I'm going to keep my eyes on, remember former King Malik Bryant is now the starting linebacker.
That's right.
So normally these week 0 and week 1 games where you got two teams that are equally kind of close in matchups, normally they're not blowouts. So I might lean NC State. I might take the 5.
Yeah. No, that'd be smart. That'd be smart.
I
What do you think,
NC State.
Chris? What NC
I think
State?
NC State too. Yeah, because Virginia, they lost a lot.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that could play a factor too. Now, if they were
Yeah.
bringing back a lot of the people that they had last year, it may be more in Virginia's favor. But because of who's left, um, that may teeter towards NC State. But you have to look at Bailey too. Bailey, he's known and notorious for throwing picks and interceptions because
Yes, he
everybody know
is.
that Jacoby Thomas interception that he had against us, and you already know how Jacoby Thomas was. Come on, you want to bow up? I got something for your ass. Everybody remember that. So unless he's fixed that and has developed a way to actually scan the field instead of fire and then look, actually look, progress, and then fire, it might be, NC State in that way, that they might come out on top.
Right.
There's some other games also that day, but the two that I want to highlight just because we play them this year being Miami, Stanford and Hawaii throw down on the ACC network. It's at Stanford, 7 o'clock. Stanford's a 5.5-point favorite. Also at 7 o'clock on the CW, Florida State welcomes New Mexico State, and they're a 31.5-point favorite. But a lot of people are wondering if Florida State even covers that 31.5 number because the practices have been asked, from what I understand.
And they haven't even announced the starting quarterback yet.
They haven't, and their own people at Horchan have even said they suck. Go ahead.
Not only have the practices been asked, but Florida State is ass. I'm taking the 31 with New Mexico, and I'm taking Hawaii to win straight up. Them goddamn scientists at damn Stanford ain't fucking win that fucking game.
Hey, and the news came out today.
Full of scientists,
the fighting Timmy Changs.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
hey,
Hawaii.
And news came out today about Castellanos, the quarterback at Florida State. He's hitting the transfer portal, and Texas Tech is the #1 candidate.
Can you fucking imagine those guys?
Mike Norvell is literally in practice right now, channeling Coach Klein from the Water Boy, saying, anybody got any ideas?
Exactly. Like I said, my ACC question all year, who's going to get fired first? Mike Norvell or Bill Belichick? My money's towards Norvell, and it's getting more and more towards Norvell every second.
I'm just gonna say this: if New Mexico State even pulls this off or whatever, I mean, he won't even be there for week 2 against SMU on Labor Day.
2 years ago,
Hey,
2 years ago, they beat Auburn. They beat Auburn at Auburn and basically sent Hugh Freeze out of a job.
Yep, and that was the start of the Diego Pavia and Clark Lee and going. Yep,
and Jerry Kill was the coach.
Yep.
And let's not forget also, I think around 2 years ago, let's not forget Jackson State also beat Florida State.
Right. That's
Jacksonville State. Yep. Jacksonville State. They did. Yep. You're right.
So I think that 31, I think that plus 31 might be a safe bet to take.
That might actually be a safe bet to take, man.
Well, and Kerry, thank you for at least proving my point that if you're going to jump on the Miami, because last week it was 23.5, now it's 24.5.
Yeah.
If Stanford does lose Hawaii, like Larry says, that number's going to jump up to 33. So jump on it now and click in now. Honestly. So
Miami at 24.
Mario might feel sorry for him or something, but get the 24.5 now if you haven't gotten the 23.
Them scientists and tech people and everything else, they ain't got no shot, man.
That's true. They don't got no
them
shot.
brothers from the island, them brothers in the islands in Hawaii, them Samoans, man, they know how to play some football up there.
Yeah.
They know how to play some ball.
Yeah.
Timmy Chang, Colt Brennan's, all the great ones in Hawaii's past, man.
I'll be back, y'all. I'll be back.
Absolutely, no problem. Well, we are getting to that idiot of the week, and I hope Chris can jump back on to do his. But Kerry, do you have an idiot of the week that you can share for our show tonight? And so
yes,
forth?
I do.
It can be
and every time I keep
whatever,
thinking about it, I keep thinking about that Penn State mess. I mean, fraternity coke. I didn't realize that drug distribution was a new class at Penn State. Was a ritual to get into a fraternity. Come on, man. Why don't you just give them a gun and let them shoot somebody? They're going to get less time for that than you're going to get for the drugs. And now you got the feds involved. And what I've always said, once the FBI is involved, you're screwed. At this point, you are literally screwed. Dad tampering. You got a dad who's a lawyer tampering with evidence. You got kids 18 years old trying to get into fraternity. I think they figure, okay, we would run naked around the quad like Will Ferrell in Old School. You could run, do this and that and all that. No. We want you to package the cocaine for us so we can get out to our people.
That's what I'm saying, man. They've gone from grabbing their dicks and elephant walks to that. I mean, are you kidding me? So good God.
And I don't want to hear the words whiteout or Happy Valley. No. Ever, because that gives all new meaning to the term Happy Valley and Wipeout. What are you going to tell me next? Sherrod Moore is going to be rehabilitated and get a job as a grad ass in Penn State. If that day happens, Lord have mercy. Look out. That's the only thing missing from this adventure with Sherrod Moore. He had every arrest except for the drug arrest. This would have covered it perfectly.
and I'll tell you this, and old Matt Campbell, if that happens, Matt Campbell got his NFL dream job, then that's what the hell happened there.
Yeah. My God. Happy Valley. Yeah, they're so happy. Boy, they ain't going to be happy. You go from rump wranglers to drug dealers. I mean, God damn.
Larry, who do you got?
Joe Paterno can't even roll around in his grave because it ain't even worth it at this point.
I got so many of them, but I got a new one, man. And the other night, man, I'm going to the WNBA. Angel Reese, I forgot who they played the other night, but they won their game. Angel Reese has been hot recently, man. I think she had a game where she had a perfect half and all of that stuff. But anyway, in the middle of a game, a freaking dildo gets thrown on the court.
Yeah.
And
was it double-sided?
I don't know, bro, but
I believe that was a CBS game or something like that, or an Ion game that it happened live. It was on live television.
Live television game. Somebody throws a dildo on the court. And you got all the players laughing and pointing. But I think that the idiot of the week here is the person that threw it, because in an arena full of people, how she saw it, Angel Reese saw who threw it and pointed out the person. It's like, look, he's over there. He's over there. So they went, got him, and arrested his ass. And you got arrested and probably banned from all WNBA games because you threw a fucking dildo on the thing. And the funny part about it was,
that's absolutely amazing.
When they went to pick it up, because the first thing I looked at was like, okay, so who's going to touch this thing? So when they went to pick it up, the guy that picks it up, the people that picked it up, they had a rag, but they didn't want to touch it with their bare hands, obviously so, because you don't know where that thing's been.
Yeah, you don't know where that thing is been.
Who the hell sneaks a dildo into a damn women's basketball game and so whoever threw that dildo on the court, you are my idiot of the week.
Hey, Larry, true story, Larry. When I was an officer, I worked at UT. We worked at it was a church conference, and we had to wand everybody that came in, and we had to look at purses. And this old woman, this old 86-year-old woman, loves God so much. He said, "We need to check your purse." He said, "No, you don't want to look in there." Said, "We got to look in there at least." She said, "Okay." We unzipped it, and there was a black dildo about this big in an 86-year-old woman's purse. My man who was standing next to me, if he could turn red, he would have been freaking on fire, because that thing, he looked and went, "Oh my gosh!" And I told you didn't want to look in there. I said, "Ma'am, you could go ahead and go." I said, "I guess you're gonna say hi to God and more." We said, "Hallelujah." She had the nerve to say, "Hallelujah, praise the Lord."
Fellas, if you're listening this,
you had one of the Golden Girls up in there, man.
Yeah,
you did. I had Blanche Dubois. So
I had Blanche.
Fellas,
ass up there.
Fellas, this is absolute the truth now. What that just proves is when you're, I don't want to call them this, but when they think they're an old lady and so forth, and listen, I'm gonna be doing this till the day I die, if you know what I mean. That's what they call me son. But I'm just gonna say this. Is that when they say, "Listen, I'm not in the mood," and I'm too old or whatever, you bring up Grandma here that had the the big 12-incher, because she was still ready to go at 86. Go, God bless her wherever she's at now, if she's even still with us. So.
Her smile was bigger than the bastard smile you got behind you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. those old women are nasty because
Yes,
I
they
had
are.
to go do a
Yes, they
delivery.
are.
I had to do a delivery last year to a medical facility. I had to bring some oxygen in there, and they had an old lady that was coming out of the facility, and she was reeling herself in a wheelchair. And I held the door open to, help her out. So she gets out, and she had to be about 85, 86. So she said, "Come here, young man." I said, "Yes, ma'am. Thank you for holding the door." I said, "No problem, ma'am." She said, "I got one more thing to tell you." I said, "What's that?" "I've never been with a black man before." I said, "Me neither." I said, "Me neither."
I knew where this was going. I knew where this was going. I knew where this was going.
80, 84, 85-year-old white lady, little old innocent white lady doing herself out there. She said, she literally, with a straight face, she whispered, "I've never been with a black man before." I said, "Ma'am, me neither."
Me neither. Me neither.
Larry, I was wondering where that story was going to go. I was going to think that you got to watch for those pinchers' hands. You got to watch with those pinching hands because I thought she was going to cop a feel and say, "Thank you, young man," or whatever.
No.
Just because you got to watch out for them pinchers too. Them
I knew where it was going.
Yeah.
I knew
I'm
exactly
sorry.
where this was going.
Oh, I knew. Yeah, I just didn't know if she insinuated physical touch when she asked as well.
Believe it or not,
old women are freaks,
from
man.
what a lot of those women, especially those elderly white women, they have a fetish for black men.
Oh yeah,
yes, they do.
I've heard this. I've got family members at the CNAs, and they like, I've heard these stories. So, hey man, to all of my soul brothers out there, if you get around an old woman, man, you better guard yourself because they're looking at you. They shit. They want
and 18 to 92 is on the table apparently, from what it sounds like. So there you
Big Daddy Kane said it best. I'll take them 8 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy.
There we go. So hey, real quick, Anthony's got a great one here. This guy, you can make him the idiot every week or whatever. His is Paul Feinbaum glazing the SEC, saying they're going to dominate the playoffs, and I'm thinking, whose dick is he sucking, and how many dildos does he have in his ass? The answer's 35. Honestly, that son of a bitch. I can't stand that Dumbo with his ears and he flies away. Old Paul Feinbaum.
He looks like a human penis.
Hey, and if it's not him, it's Heather Dinich. How many dildos does she have? How many dildos does she have?
I can't stand her.
Oh my God, I can't stand that woman. I can't.
She is Miami hater number one, and she's the first one to jump up when we lose a game. And if we do this 16-0 thing, I want it tramp stamped on her ass. Honestly, that's what I want.
I wish there was something on our TV screen that we could draw a paper bag every time she comes on TV. Because
Danny Boy Kane's girlfriend. So
I would draw a paper bag. I'm sitting there going, "You gotta be kidding,
dude! I'd rather let a rattlesnake give me a blowjob than like that goddamn woman."
Yeah,
I'm for real about that.
My God, I can't stand her, man.
Yeah, I hate her. No, I do.
She's so
anyway, here's my idiot of the week. And Carrie, I'm glad you took the Penn State because that's what I was going to do. But here's my idiot of the week. Okay, from the Fran Brown a school of cleanliness, and I mean no disrespect to your mama's alma mater, because Syracuse has had coaches before Fran Brown, and hopefully they have coaches after Fran Brown, because they'll be so excited to take Marcus Freeman's dick in his ass when Notre Dame goes and plays Syracuse, like he did last year so proudly. But in the Fran Brown of School of Hygiene, okay, I read a story in the New York Post, and I can't find it because sometimes, it's clickbait and stuff like that. But it had to have been true, because sometimes these things do come out. But there was a man that actually bragged that he likes to go to the strip club without showering, or even 3 days going without a shower, because he likes leaving his scent on the dance.
Oh, no. It ain't him, is it?
No. But I'm saying he comes from the school of Fran. Yeah. So this sorry son of a bitch, whoever he is, he'll remain nameless, goes to strip clubs, stinks, and literally, and then I find out from whoever the stripper that broke the story to the beat writer for these type of stories that they just do there for the entertainment section, she even said, lowballing it, he don't even tip good. So you have to smell a stinky ass, and he likes to leave his stink on their little couch dances or whatever like that. That smelly, sorry son of a bitch, honestly. And that's why I mean, are you kidding me right now that you just smell like a Yeti's asshole or whatever like that, and you're get off on leaving your scent on them girls? Oh my God, get the hell out of here, dude. Honestly, so yeah, idiot.
Wow.
Idiot of the week,
Damn,
man. So
man.
that guy, I don't know who's worse in terms of the strip club customers that I've notified here on the idiot of the week. There's this guy, and then there's the one that left his wife last year that I mentioned that basically told his kids, I got you a new stepmama, and she basically had taken his $20,000, if you remember. He paid for that room for like 3 weeks to see her, and she was like, I got a boyfriend. I mean, oh my God, you can't make this shit up, dude. You
Oh,
can't.
heck no.
Oh
my
idiots.
God.
They really
That's
are
just,
stupid. Just idiot of the week.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping I'd get Chris Kane back here, but I hope that he definitely brings that idiot of the week next week. We'll be back on Sunday next week. Guys, real quick, I want you to speak your piece before we get the hell up out of here. I want to also thank everybody that was on the chat box that came on, our end of the show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in live or recorded. Remember to always speak your keys. I want to thank my guest co-hosts as they came on, the guests that were in the chat as well as live, and more than anything, hit that like and subscribe button. Punch the shit out of it, man, Stallion style. But Kerry, what's your final thoughts? Larry, yours, and then we'll close it out, baby. So, yeah.
Man, we're on the verge, baby. We are on the verge of Christmas and New Year's getting going with college football. We got good stuff getting ready to start happening. We got matchups all over. We got matchups. Starting week 2, we got matchups all over the place. I'm excited about the matchups we got. We got some matchups that haven't happened before. We got some matchups that are going to be new. We got to be exciting. Got some old, familiar matchups later in the year. This is going to be a great year. Everybody's going to knock each other off. I can honestly say right now, I'll make one bold prediction. There will not be an undefeated team. The only undefeated team I could see would be Miami. If they don't go undefeated, I don't think nobody else will. I think it's going to be that kind of year when there's going to be beat up teams all over the country. All the major conferences are going to be beat up conferences. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the excitement. I can't wait to see what bullshit CBS carries for the Big Ten this year. Now, their first game is Boise State and Oregon. That's a great game. That's a great game to start off with. But the bullshit's going to end up coming through because Fox is carrying Indiana's game. Let's see. Ohio State and Texas is next week, and that's ESPN. That I'm like, okay, when's the bullshit start? And Clemson.
Well, we got Brian Kelly on the desk in CBS now, and that's the gift that keeps on giving there, sir. So old Brian Kelly, who put you to sleep real quick. So
Larry, if I need a nap or my colon cleansed or my muffler changed, I can listen to Brian Kelly. Damn, man.
For sure.
Why, CBS? Why'd you give up the SEC for this?
That motherfucker's got enough money. He don't need any more. He doesn't even deserve what he got. So go ahead, Larry.
I'd rather get my prostate checked by Freddie King.
That's right.
That's real. I'm going to close my thoughts out, give my final thoughts by saying this, man. Stallion, I just want to thank you for continuing this tradition that we've had for 8 plus years, from the Facebook Lives to here now on the YouTube airwaves, and just giving me opportunity, man. Like I said, this is an extension, in my opinion, of You Talk. This is a spinoff of You Talk, and you guys are just killing it, Kerry. You're killing it with the show. And to everybody, to the viewing audience, man, y'all need to share this channel. You need to share the channel and spread the love, man. It takes nothing to hit share and let everybody in your respective circles see what's going on here. There's some good stuff happening over here. It's very entertaining, and I have fun being on here. And like I said, it's just a blessing, man. You crossed over 200 subscribers and growing, and that number's only going to grow. Y'all got some good stuff going on. So definitely, man, show some love to Rebels with a Cause. Share this channel. And, man, y'all just come back for every production that you guys put on, man. Y'all need to be talking to the chat. Y'all need to be in this thing, man. And thank you for supporting You Talk, man. And always. And I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting on RWAC, man, to just just do big things, man. I can't wait, because when y'all get to the big time, I'm gonna be able to say I was with those fuckers when they were getting started.
You're going with us to the big. You're going with us to the big time.
It goes to you and Devin as the godfathers of this channel, because you gave me the idea and we just rolled with it, and
keep
two pairs, Shane and Carrie and Brad and everybody else involved behind the scenes. They do it, and we can't do it without you guys, and we thank you. And I'm going to give the love right back, man. If you have not subscribe to You Talk, what are you waiting for? The VIPs. I mean, listen, that game chat is always going to be fire, and that ain't free no more. So, you know, and don't be bothering these guys, you know, the day of the game and think, why aren't they calling me back? It's because you ain't subscribed to them. They're going to give the attention to the people, and they have given you guys a lot of free content over the years. Now it's time to pay them back, and you're about to get some more fire content. And they've got my subscription, and, you know, I'm hoping that we do. I just hope to just say hello and be behind the scenes when they hopefully do a live show from Charlotte in the ACC, or, you know, if we're blessed in the Las Vegas for the damn national title, man. But get on board now while you still can, because that price is going to skyrocket, you know. I mean, and it deserves it, honestly. And everything that you and Devin and everybody does, and now AO and Mel B, who not only is Mel B such a big staple of your all's You Talk, but my God, where would we be without him and Zoe and those guys that took a chance to come to Miami back in the 80s? And that's why I call them the godfathers of the U. And they knew what it needed to be done. Definitely. And they had to do some stuff to make it done. And it's all love and respect to Mel B and everybody, and Devin and you. And you just keep kicking some ass, man. I can't wait, honestly. And you're welcome here anytime. You're welcome on Carrie's show anytime you ever want to come on. And I know how busy you want to come on, man. Honestly. So, but for everybody, guys, I'm just going to leave it with this. We are so close to college football. Whether you're a Canes fan or you're Vol fan or whoever, you know, root your team, rep your stuff, baby. This is the time to do it. And also, you know, if you have a loved one that's ill, you know, appreciate them, enjoy them for everything that you've got. And remember, you've got a voice. Do it in a respectful manner, and never forget to always speak your piece. And for the Rebels with the Cause channel, that cause don't stop when that clock hits zero. For Big Game Kerry Reeves, Larry Frank, Chris Kane, and all my guests, I'm the Italian Stallion. We out of here. See you next week as we preview us burning down them damn trees in Palo Alto. Stallion out, baby. Go Canes. I'm the Stallion, speaking loud, no chains. From the heat of Miami where we play no games. Boxing gloves down, but my mouth still swings. Trash talk sharp like a scorpion stings. Stallion speaks. Yeah, the truth don't hide. Unfiltered raw. Your late night guide from the ring to the mic where the real collide. Stallion speaks on the untamed tide. Stallion speaks. On the untamed tide. Gloves off mic, I feel the fire ignite. When the Stallion speaks, there's no polite. From the edge of the ring to the edge of your seat.